Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed by the hosts, South Shore Live, Tampa Bay Sports Entertainment, AJ Slick, and Howard the Unknown Drummer, and any guests featured on this vodcast are solely their own, and do not necessarily reflect any official stance or position. We are not responsible for the content of these opinions. Viewer discretion is advised, and you are free to discontinue watching at any time.
Did you know that South Shore Cleaning and Supply is locally owned and operated for over 5 years? Oh, there's Howard the owner. Everyone say hi to Howard. You also might have seen one of their vehicles around town. They offer a variety of cleaning services from carpets to tile and grout, laminate and wood floorings, as well as pet remediation and much more. Call today for a free estimate at 8133642185.
Hey South Shore community, join Howard the Unknown Drummer and Captain Teo Leonard for our weekly Tuesday evening fireside chat. Grab a seat by the fire as we feature great local businesses, because we support small businesses. Exciting events and dive into key world issues where your opinion matters most. Want to be a featured guest? Pitch your business or event on the show? Just reach out and connect. The show is proudly produced by Tampa Bay Sports and Entertainment Magazine. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Tune in every Tuesday. We'd love for you to join our fun and connect with us.
The Web Design Ninja is your one-stop shop for all things internet. Our dedicated team has been building internet solutions for businesses large and small since 1993. We specialize in creating eye-catching designs, search engine optimization, complex e-commerce, and custom app integration. Whether you need a simple website or a complex e-commerce or phone app, our team of experts is here for you. Give us a call today. We're here to help.
Awesome.
Good evening, everybody. We are a little early because we are so jazzed to get started with a nice rolling start here. I am Howard the Unknown Drummer. I happen to be here with my buddy girl, Angie Richardson, and of course, Captain Teo Leonard.
Good day.
And oh yeah, of course.
And in the booth, we have the fabulous Joanne Duran, Big Red there.
From Tampa Bay Sports and Entertainment. She can be found at apollobeachpublishing.com. Check us out on YouTube. We hope that you guys are joining us. You tell your friends to join us. We have some hijinks tonight, some great stories, and we have a mystery guest tonight with us. But everyone's going to introduce themselves first and give people time to share, like, and tell your friends to watch the show. So first of all, we're going to start off with Captain Teo.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to Apollo Beach. It's good to be back on the show. It's been a few weeks, huh? And actually,
we're busy going on vacation. Don't make us feel bad.
And hey, everyone went on vacation and we didn't get stuck.
Everyone didn't.
You're coming, but we didn't get stuck.
And my boilers lost, unfortunately, so we made it to the Elite Eight, and but we didn't make it to the Final Four. So I'm here tonight because otherwise I would be up in Indiana.
You'd be on the road again.
I'd be on the road.
And for those still people who are stuck at TSA, we apologize. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get crappy weather. Sometimes you have crappy situations would happen when you travel. We were lucky enough this time to be able to drive to our destination and leave out of there. And I kind of lean that way more in life. The more I can drive somewhere and be in more control of my time and space.
That is the beauty of living in Florida.
It sure the heck is.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, I was going to just drive up to Indiana.
Yeah,
I looked at flights and then the rental car.
But
dude, I love driving, man. I have these old funky cars that are like unique, and I drive them
because you like the looks. Everybody's like, look at that.
They're like, dude, that's like an old car.
He pulls up with like Jody blasting.
Oh yeah,
it's straight Miami Vice.
Well, you got to have a decent stereo.
Well, look where we live. We live in Paradise.
Yep.
We live in Apollo Beach area, which if you guys aren't really familiar with, Angie's going to give you the rundown of all the towns that include the Apollo Beach South Shore area in 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
We're going to start at Riverview, Gibsonton, Apollo Beach, Waimama, Ruskin. I'm going to start including Parrish in that. Balm.
Okay.
Come on, Adamsville.
I don't even know where that is.
You drive by.
No one does, but everyone does. It's just north of the. It's that side of Gibtown.
I say we're the peanut butter and jelly of the sandwich of Tampa and Sarasota. We're the center and the good part of it, right? So we get the boating community here in Apollo Beach.
Well, it's Apollo Beach
proper.
We're a little bit
Drinking
cheaper
village with a boating
in
problem.
cost than living in Tampa or out at the beaches, but you're 45 minutes to everything. So
Oh,
we're in a great spot.
It used to be 15 minutes to everything before all these people moved in town.
And we get the best sunsets. Let's be real.
Dude, it's
beautiful.
awesome. I'll be going out tomorrow.
And these people here are entrepreneurs, and that's what this show is all about.
Yep.
Supporting the businesses in the area. Kind of.
It really is. You know, when you meet people, it's like about over half the people are entrepreneurs in our community.
It never used to be like that.
And you know, I look at other places I've lived, and it was like 2%.
Without a doubt.
You know, and I think it has to do with the commute distance or the job thing or whatever. And people
and the mindset too.
You know, living on the water, you're either a go-getter or you're not. You
were told you go to college, you stay with the same company forever, and that was it. That's what you're trained to do.
Yeah.
And it takes to make a jump. You know, some people. When I was a kid, people would ask, why did people go to California? I asked my grandfather that, and he said, the crazier people went west, and the craziest made it to California.
Dude,
Well,
I love living in California
Here in
until
Florida,
a certain point of time, and then
Florida,
it was like
though,
time to bail.
The difference is that people come from all over places to escape things that they just want to get away from because they just want to be with like-minded people. A sunset, a beer, a walk, and not have to deal with anything.
Right.
It's a like mindset. Wine, you know.
You can go on an awesome date at the Anna Maria Oyster Bar.
Yeah.
And you have great food and great entertainment, and you feel young, and you feel young because you're younger than,
and you
like,
get a discount too with your company.
You're like 30 years younger than anybody else.
Right. And you wear nylons too.
I haven't worn nylons in a while, since I got dressed up for the drag queen thing, which was what, Thursday? No,
And that was your bartending gig.
And that was brought to you by Virgin Voyages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Captain Teo, myself, and a few friends went on a very not surprising, but a flawless, essentially 99.9%, other than a few technical issues. And there's a lot of different people there, all getting along, having a great time.
Dude, we had a ball. And you know, the best part is, you know, so Howard and Joanne. So it started because Joanne goes, "Well, we're going to go horseback riding," and my wife goes, "Hey, I stopped chemo. I'm going horseback riding." So I'm like, "All right." Next morning, we turned around and booked it. And
we had told our friends to join us, and he invited some friends, and it turned out that 3 other couples decided, sure, let's just throw caution to the wind and go. I'm like, all of a sudden, we're a party of 10 to 12 wherever we went.
Oh yeah, and it was great. And then we go, and so we go horseback riding, and then we do these ATVs in the mud. And you know, I gotta credit, thank you, Bergal Rum, for sponsoring tonight's drink.
No way.
Because after I totaled his ATV, courtesy of the guy,
a fiery, horrible death,
dude, man, we destroyed that thing, and it was epic. So then,
pictures are on Facebook.
He gave us rum and cigars. I'm like, how nice is that? I totaled his ATV, and he like gave us rum and cigars. That was like
he's
the best.
also going to be a interview.
Yeah, we're going to have him on
Tampa Bay Sports Entertainment Magazine. I think next month's going to have him on. An amazing 5-generation rum story.
Yeah.
Of just being able to keep it going. Also, going through 2 wars, he kept the rum company still running.
Yeah,
which is pretty badass.
In the Dominican,
cocktails during that.
Apparently so, and the family knew it. And then we also have with us tonight. We have an author with us. We have Captain Teo with us, and he has now authored a book, one of many, I believe, to come. And
a few.
And he's going to take about 2 or 3 minutes, and Angie's going to ask him all these questions about his book. How's that sound, Angie? And then we're going to get to guest number 1.
I was going to say, so you guys just got off vacation.
Yes.
Having a blast. And I have to say, I'm really jealous because you all have the vacation glow still going on.
Right.
So I'm kind of mad at all of you.
Well, we're hungover.
Did you have I got to de-stress, and I got to relax,
Without
and I got to not
and you have to
deal with Angie for a week, and I get it. You know, it's okay. But at the end of the day, like, there is a glow when you get off of vacation, right? So we have a vacation expert coming on soon in just a few minutes.
Very cool.
And we'll be having Bruce Raybar. And so excited to have him come on. So if you have a bucket list that you're looking to go to someday, or talk about your favorite vacation you've ever been on, but he's got some deals. And
this was one of them.
So here's the deal. I want to touch on this for vacation, because normally when we go on vacation, we go for 3 weeks. And everyone's like, God, why do you go for 3 weeks, right? Why do you go for a week? And this time we only went for a week, which is
8 days.
9 days, I guess. Days. So
just, you know, it felt like 3 weeks to me that y'all were gone.
So it's really an anomaly. But what happens is, like, when I fly to Mexico, I spend, and I think part of that is this was unplanned, right? I mean, we literally talked about it Tuesday night, booked it on Wednesday, and like, jumped on, Friday, and following Friday, and so zero preparation. Normally, like when we go to Mexico for like 3 weeks or Europe or whatever, I spend like a month in preparation of leaving so that my companies and everything can be in sync, right? And then as soon as you leave, I spend like 4 days freaking out about all the crap I forgot to deal with, right?
Like
so
everyone does.
So then on Thursday you start to relax, but by Thursday lunch you're like, Monday it's gonna all blow. Week of relaxation, because and you actually start earlier, like the second day you're like, well, it's too late now, I'm gone for 3 weeks, and then you all the way till, well, I still can't do anything for another week, so and I'm this more.
One thing, there was only really two. That whole thing was a living TV.
Oh
set.
yeah,
And one thing I
that's when Howard
you
was
guys were on
taunting the
Virgin, the
kids.
adult
Yeah,
only.
adult
So-
only.
Right. So
I
that
highly
makes a
recommend it.
huge difference.
the experience is just, it got, the first time we got in, the zen that carried over was magnificent. Wherever we went, we were comfortable, didn't have to worry about our mouth, didn't have to worry about little Jimmy coming up with ice cream behind us, oh, excuse me, sir, that kind of stuff. It was just
Or kids taking over the pool.
correct.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, speaking of vacation, let's get Bruce in. He's calling in from remote for us today.
From beautiful South Shore, Florida.
Right? Do we have
And
him?
there
There
he
he
is.
is. Look. And he looks like he's on vacation.
Yeah. So where you at, Bruce?
Hey, Bruce, welcome to the show.
Can you hear us, Bruce?
There we go. Can you hear me now?
The show, Bruce.
Perfect.
Background.
Sorry, one more time.
Could you have picked a better background?
In all honesty, this was a great suggestion by Angie, the background for tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you, Angie.
Look at that, Angie.
I know.
Is this your backyard, Bruce?
Well, it's everybody's backyard. This is Apollo Beach, so.
That's
is
why everybody
true.
lives in Florida.
What's he do? Hanging at Finn's, having a cocktail?
No, I'm at a little thing we call Outfitters here at Mira Bay. I'm on the lagoon. That's the lagoon in the background.
Okay.
That is one of my favorite spots to watch the sunset.
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Cool.
Well,
So
you're
Bruce, what do
certainly
you do,
letting everybody
man?
know why you should come to Florida. So, tell us about your travel agency.
So sure, my name is Bruce. I'm a Apollo Beach resident. Have been now for maybe 11 years now. And
So pretty new.
Yeah, pretty new, right? It's funny to see this how this has grown in the last 11 years, and I mean, just it's crazy how this area has grown up and still growing. So a couple years ago, I kind of retired from my mainline business and got into the travel industry. And I am a licensed and insured travel agent here in the South Shore area.
Cool. What was your mainline business before?
I was in, a couple different things, but aluminum, architectural metals is what I used to do up until full-time until April of last year, and kind of retired out of that and got, I wouldn't say full-time in this because I've been full-time in this now for 3 years. I bought this franchise, travel franchise, and became licensed.
What is the name of the franchise?
So I'm my brand is an individual brand. It's called Lap of Luxury Travel, and I'm part of what they call a host agency. So I work under what they call a host license scenario. I also have an independent seller of travel license as well. So right now it kind of works out better this way for most people who don't have 20 or 30 agents under them. This is a good scenario to be in the travel industry. I have, as of today, I have 3 agents that I've brought on, 2 of which live in the area here in Apollo Beach. And then my third agent is up in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm getting ready to add one in New York City.
So what do you specialize in? Cruises, Airbnb, exotic travel?
So good question. So a little bit of everything, right? So our main line, or what I handle, is I handle the business and corporate travel side of things. And I also handle the exotic or ultra luxury side of the business. The agents who work with me, Melissa Pesh, who is a local resident here in Mirror Bay, Melissa, Jean Betroni's wife, she handles the honeymoon destinations, family travel, wedding planning, those type of things. So she's more on that side of it. So we're kind of each individual focused in certain areas of travel. So you've got leisure, you've got luxury, you've got family, you've got corporate, and then you can break it down even further. So I heard you guys said you were on a cruise last week. So now you've got multiple kinds of cruises. So you've got what they call the leisure cruises, which you guys did. And then to break that down, you've got premium, ultra luxury, you've got expedition, you've got river. So the travel industry is kind of broken up into several segments.
Segmented, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been on a Virgin, Bruce?
I have been on Virgin, and I'm excited.
What was your impression?
I loved it. You hit the nail on the head with the adult only. It was classy. It wasn't. I don't want to knock any other of the cruise lines, but it just was an adult experience. It was
I found it to be not forced. That you didn't hear about a Diamond International sale, and you'd never heard from the captain, and you could go at your own vibe and your own speed rather than being, cattle going to dinner and waiting in line at 5:55.
No, very relaxed, very kickback. Actually, Virgin's getting ready to do something very exciting. So they've got 4 ships in their fleet.
Yep.
And they're going to have a meetup late next year in 27 in the Caribbean with all 4 ships going to one destination at the same time. So it's going to be a massive Virgin party.
Chances are my wife and I will be there.
Fantastic.
It'll be our 6th one. That's how much they got our branding.
And they're really good. They just actually sailed, I think it was Brilliant Lady, sailed yesterday through the Panama Canal.
Yeah, we consider that
cool.
one.
Yeah. So, and that's coming back here. So if anyone wants to catch that coming back from the Pacific coast, it's coming back in November to be do its winter here in the Caribbean.
That's great.
It's February 19th.
Okay.
The meetup.
So what you got?
Now, aside from cruises, do you also work on like European and all different destinations around the world? So if someone's got a bucket list, like I really want to see the Northern Lights someday. This last year I went to Italy and Greece. So if people want to get out of the Caribbean, since a lot of us live here in the beautiful Florida,
the Caribbean's
do you specialize in all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a travel show coming up here at the end of April. We're going to be putting on these shows more frequently. I'm going to try to do them quarterly. But the next show we have is going to specialize in. There's a big horn there. Specialize in Egypt. So we're going to do 2 nights pre-cruise in Cairo at the Four Seasons Resort. From there, we're going to take a private jet on down to the Nile River. We'll be on the Nile for 7 nights, and that's going to be next May. But we're working on that show right now for the end of April, and then to follow up. So that'll be the first hour. The second hour, we're going to do the Christmas markets. So kind of not really your Northern Lights, but you're going to get the effect of possibly seeing the Northern Lights, depending on which segment of the Christmas market cruise you go on. So we do everything. We've got 21-day European cruises. I've got somebody on a 119-day world cruise right now.
Damn.
I was just down in Miami last week doing a seminar at sea with Regent Cruise Lines, and oh my goodness, wow, and wow. Just luxury, everything's a suite, everything's provided.
Opulence.
For you. Yeah, opulence is the key word. Yeah. And so we do that. We do Antarctic trips. So we're going to do.
I hear you giving.
Okay, so I got a question from one of our YouTubers.
Sure.
Vacation to Japan.
Yeah,
they're an inexperienced travel. Can your company help with booking an ultimate vacation to Japan?
Absolutely. We do it all the time. Cherry blossoms, best place in the world to see cherry blossoms.
That is
Japan.
true.
So, and now that season's passed a little bit, so you're going. That's more of a spring scenario for most travelers to go see that.
So Bruce, how do our people get in touch with you to find out about going to Japan? What's the easiest way?
So the easiest way is to either give us a call at 800-462-6807. We're on the web at lapofluxurytravel.com, and we're on every social media medium that you can be on. We have a YouTube channel. We have Facebook, Instagram. I'm sure my neighbors, and Angie being one of them, could tell you that she's sick of seeing my stuff every day. I do a travel and cruise update every single morning, every day of the week. So I'm giving you the latest cruise news and travel updates for, I heard you mention TSA, so we give you an idea what's going on with TSA. We actually broke the story last week before anybody else did that the new Icon series from Royal Caribbean was going to be called Hero. So some pretty cool stuff that goes on there every morning. So people should tune in on that. That's on Facebook every morning.
Cool.
I will never complain about somebody marketing their business. I want to make that clear.
Oh yeah.
I think it's great that you're doing it because, to be honest, I do it. If you follow me on social media, you know I do Keeping It Real in Real Estate videos and all things
as I
too.
met you came up to me and said you guys are doing a good job with your marketing.
Yeah, I came from 25 years of marketing in corporate world.
It used to be you had newspapers and you had billboards,
magazines, and USA Today.
It's all gone. That I mean, we've had to really think outside the box to advertise our product. I mean, from we're doing digital billboards, we're doing magazines, but the way of doing things just don't exist anymore. I mean, travel agencies really don't have brick and mortar buildings anymore.
No, and that whole travel agent business is like morphed away.
Internet
it changed. The internet really botched it for the travel agents. It used to be when you need to book a flight, I'd call my travel agent, I call Bill and Karen and say, okay, here's where I got to go. And they'd come back with my flight options and they'd book it. And they're like, okay, be at the airport, at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then here's your hotel and everything else. You didn't have all the reviews and everything else. I just remember I'm like, okay, I got to go to Portland. And it's like, okay, I got this perfect hotel for you. And now you end up searching for stuff. And it was just like I'm doing a cigar cruise, go figure, right? On Margaritaville, and we don't cruise, but we did this Virgin thing. So on the way back, as soon as we left Miami, I'm like, okay, we're upgrading that to a suite. We're going.
Yeah.
I'm getting a suite.
Yeah,
I want the concierge service.
Yeah.
I want all that stuff.
You're going to be reaching for things that are not going to be there on that ship, dude.
I know, dude. It's not even close, dude. A suite is a quarter of the cost of our just basic room on Virgin.
Hey,
I
man.
think the greatest reason why you want to use somebody like
but you
Bruce,
want the knowledge.
Yeah.
So
but I
I'll
think
now. So I was going to tell you why you want to use a travel agent versus using that Expedia or that 800 or that that internet faceless agent. Right. So here's the difference, right? So for example, you mentioned, and I know you're a big cigar guy because I've seen you on Facebook and I watch some of your stuff on Facebook. So being a big cigar guy, I would say to you, hey, listen, if you're interested in something that's a cigar-based type cruise, again, there's a ship that I was just recently on called the Regent Seven Seas Grandeur, and I can send you some pictures. They have an entire cigar room there with cigars, smoking facilities on board.
That's my style.
Show's going live from there.
Yeah.
So
well, we were actually considering doing a South Shore live cruise, Angie. You just broke a beep 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 beep. We were thinking about doing that maybe next year, doing like 3 or 4 days out.
Why do you think I brought Bruce on tonight?
Beep 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 beep.
So that's why people use or should use a travel agent, right? There's lots of reasons why. One of them is, again, if you're using a licensed travel agent and an insured travel agent, you cannot be damaged or hurt by a trip that you're booked. And I'll give you an example. You go book something with Expedia and you get to the airport, your flight's changed and you go up to the counter, or you go to a hotel and you check in, your room's not right. The first thing they tell you is, I'm sorry, you booked through a third party. We can't help you.
That is true.
So when you book with a travel agent, we have, again, our specific company has a software system we invested in that we do something called Trip Overwatch. So if you're flying from here to, say, Rome, and you've got a stopover in London or Paris, and there's a misconnection, you don't have to worry about waiting in line with Delta or United or American. your travel agent should be already rebooking you automatically and taking care of that on your behalf.
Cool.
That doesn't happen with any other avenue.
Right.
If you want to book a vacation and you're booking, whether it's a cruise is a little bit different, but let's say you want to book a land-based airline tour. So you want to fly to Italy and you're going to be there for 21 days. And you want to do it booking air 300 days out. You can book air from a trip. So if you want to book that trip with a travel agent, we have the ability to take a low down payment, and you can make monthly payments without putting it on a credit card, tying up your credit, pulling out a loan.
That's huge for people.
Huge, and people don't know that.
Saving the money.
If you book that trip with
payment.
Well, you can do whatever you want. If you want to pay $100 a month and pay a big chunk at the end, you can do that. You just have to meet the minimum deposit requirement depending on the trip. And then you make the payments as you see. We're not tying up your credit. We're not doing credit checks, none of that stuff. The key here is that if you were to call the United Airlines directly or American directly, they're going to charge you right then and there on your credit card. It's done. So if it's $13,000, that's what you're paying. With us, you don't have to do that. You're going to put down $2,000 and pay small monthly payments, or anytime you want to pay it off, you can. So that's a benefit of dealing with a travel agent.
Cool.
And I will say, my family had an entire family trip booked to, I believe it was the Dominican a couple years ago, when they were having all the problems of people getting drugged down there, right? And
hey,
one of my,
I only got drugged once. It was not a bad deal.
all right, good.
True story.
But I mean, when I was in corporate world, I had a travel agency, and anytime I had problems, just like Bruce was saying, like I never had to go to the customer counters and wait. I literally would call my person, and they're like, "We got you rebooked. You're over here. We already got your seat confirmed. You know, whatever." Damn. It was amazing. But and I lived that life for 25 years, and that person was key, and they knew my preferences. They would tell me where to go to eat sometimes when I was in certain cities and everything, because I traveled so much for 25 years. But on a personal level, though, my mom had used a travel agency because our entire family was going, and one of my nephews at the last minute was like, "I don't feel comfortable going. This kind of scares me." And she called the travel agent and said, "What can I do?" And I mean, we're supposed to leave in a week, and it didn't cost my mom any money to use the travel agent. And within 3 hours, she had 17 of us rebooked to a different country, all different itineraries, new airline tickets, everything. Sent an email to my mom and said, "Everybody's rebooked. You're now going to Cancun." And, right. And it was like so stress-free. And had my mom had to redo that, or any of us tried to redo it ourselves, we would have been hours and hours and hours. It's one phone call. They take care of it for you. It's the most stress-free thing, and it doesn't cost you anything as a consumer.
Right.
It's crazy to put it on yourself. And knowing you can amortize the payments over a certain amount of time and not put it on your credit card and pay 20% interest if you're not paying your credit card off, that's brilliant. There's no reason not to call a travel agent.
Yeah. And that's key too. You mentioned that, Angie, that you want to make sure that you're dealing with a reputable travel agency. Somebody, again, I'll say it again, licensed and insured.
Absolutely.
Because we don't charge fees up front. We never do. How we make our money is from the airlines, the cruises,
the back
hotels, the back end. They pay us a commission. You're paying that commission, whether you pay it to the airline and they just keep it and not give it to somebody, but that price is already built in. So we're always getting the same price up front. Now, a travel agent can save you money potentially. They may have some deals that nobody knows about, or there's group bookings for cruises that we're allowed to book into that nobody knows about. So we can potentially save money, but on the surface, we're all equal. So United Airlines is selling the same ticket to you as they're selling to me 9 times out of 10. The difference is that they're keeping that commission for extra profit. If I book it, they're paying me the commission. You have no worries, and you get to make a payment on that.
And you have somebody who has your back. And if you're booking it yourself and doing everything on Expedia or Travelocity, one of those, they're getting the commission that would normally go to Bruce. So the whole point of this show is to support local and
small
local
businesses.
So why give it to these huge websites that you're doing all the work for them? It's like checking out at Walmart yourself.
Well, and they don't plan for you either. That's the thing.
Right.
You
Bruce,
have to make your own plan. They're not going to plan for you like we do.
Thanks for coming on.
We appreciate you.
It,
we're running short on the time now.
Hey, listen, I appreciate it.
But lapofluxurytravel.com. We got it on the screen there.
Reach out to
and Bruce, one more time, your phone number, 800?
1-800-462-6807.
Great.
Bruce, enjoy
Thank
that
you.
sunset. That's
enjoy it. It's
Thanks,
going to
guys.
be good.
I appreciate it.
Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Happy Passover or happy Easter to everyone.
Easter, yep, there we go. Thank you very much, guys.
Put the rabbits on the grill. We're good to go.
See you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yay?
Yay.
Happy yay?
Are you tired of streaks? Not those type of streaks. Not this kind of streaking either. What the heck? The streaking that I'm talking about is on your roof. We use shingles with a high copper content to give your roof a clean, sharp, streak-free appearance for years to come.
All right, you guys are live.
Hey,
All right.
hey, welcome,
Welcome
back.
We kind of switched hosts here. Oh, hang on. Oop. We switched hosts. There we go.
Yeah, I got to pull mine up too. So
Teo is stuck with all the girls.
I know.
Teo, you
Life
ladies.
sucks, man.
Right?
Teo.
Welcome,
Teo.
ladies.
All right. So we have the mother-daughter team of property management. So tell us about yourselves. Joy and Hannah, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we own Megador Property Management together, and we opened a few years ago, and we immigrated from Canada. Me about 5 years now.
Oh, she said it about.
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 I love it.
Out and about.
Thank you, Getty.
And,
Do they have hockey in Canada?
yeah.
A little, just a little bit. And
Okay.
they have amazing wrestlers. You know, the whole Heart Foundation is there. And then there's Rush. Howard's in the background dying because Rush is back. And they literally,
Yeah.
on Sunday night when we were at a concert, Rush did a pop-up concert to start out their whole thing. So back to Canada. Yay, Canada.
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you, eh?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
So yeah, we're Canadian, and Hanna immigrated a little bit longer than me, and my kids moved down here. So I decided to sell my business in Canada and move here.
Okay.
So, in Canada-
How'd you pick up Powell Beach? I mean, that's like I get people picking Miami or, Jacksonville or whatever, but
Tampa.
Powell Beach is like, I mean, you
Tampa.
got Tampa, but how'd you end up at Powell Beach?
Okay, so we had been coming down for many, many years, so it wasn't new to us.
Okay.
So you were like the snowbird crowd that just came down every so often, like even for vacation, because you're too
Yeah.
young, obviously, to be
So Hanna
snowbirds.
and I traveled down alone multiple times.
Okay.
Her and I we did everything together,
Cool.
and we still do.
I'm so impressed. Your mother, daughter, and work together.
Absolutely.
I think my mom and I are way too both type A personalities. We might kill each other.
Yeah. We are very similar, but we have different strengths, so we rely on each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how'd you pick property management?
Okay, so in Canada, I owned a mortgage brokerage,
Okay.
but I also had properties that I managed, and I like the aspect of helping investors make money.
Okay.
And so that was the biggest part of my business in Canada. We lent money, we did all kinds of things. And so when I moved here, I looked at all the options, and I decided to stick with property management because I love properties, love helping people make money, and just felt I could make a difference in the industry.
It's highly needed. Good property management. I mean, I'm in real estate. Joanne's in real estate.
Definitely.
And finding good property management that you can rely on and that you can rely to tell your investors about, that you'll take care of it, right? So I think the great thing too is that if we have renters that are looking for something, you guys have inventory as well, not just property management, but you have inventory that you can put out there available.
The other thing that I like about your company is that you pick up the phone. It's not AI based. We talked about this today.
Yes.
It's not an AI based place. You literally, when you call them, they get to speak to one of you guys.
That's correct.
And that's a huge thing right now, because right now AI is taking over a lot of the spaces where you just want to talk to a human, not a computer, not a machine.
We were talking about that before. Is in my business, I'm the only one with a phone number.
Right.
Okay. All my competitors are AI chatbots, and I'm the only one with a phone number. It just amazes to me. And people are like, well, you could save so much money by getting rid of the phone. So, no. And it's the way to do it is just for customer service. And if you think about it, if a renter has a problem, right, the AC dies, plumbing's backed up or whatever, they want to talk to somebody, right? Or the owner wants to know what's going on with their house. I mean, on the low end side, you got a $300,000 investment,
Right.
Correct.
and I mean that's on the low end side, and
Mhm.
300 grand is a lot of jing,
Yeah.
and 500 grand is more, and $1 million is way more.
I think
So they
there's
want to
such-
know, they want that peace of mind, I think.
That's it. There's such peace of mind, whether you're the landlord that gets the call that there's a problem, or you're the tenant that's trying to call the property management and say, hey, a pipe broke or something backed up or whatever. It's one thing to say, I put it online in the portal, or I called and I got an AI person and I recorded what's wrong, and now I'm waiting for the call back, right? The anxiety level doesn't go away.
No.
Until they actually hear from someone.
like,
So to
we
take
have-
that anxiety away right away, because you answer the phone, you're taking care of them. It's just a level of service that's so needed in that industry.
And the funny thing is, Howard and I had hit this in a way we never thought we would. A friend of ours was dog sitting at someone's house, and they had an issue. The dishwasher suddenly decided to not stop filling. And the person that was dog sitting was a younger person, not super young, obviously, but she didn't know what to do. So she called the emergency list. She called the plumbers and all that. We were the only ones who answered her phone. So to have somebody like you, if you're a renter, that panic wouldn't have been there. I mean, granted, she was dog sitting, but I can imagine as a renter, if all of a sudden the same thing happened where the dishwasher, the water just kept going and you couldn't shut it off. And when she went underneath to shut off the water, the house was a bit on the older side. It wouldn't work. So having somebody like you who can pick up the phone and say, hold on, I have a plumber, I can get them there. Just keep scooping it out. Just do this. It's like you said, it takes away that panic. It takes away that stress. And if I'm going to rent from somebody, I want to be able to get them on the phone. And you actually even have an office in South Shore in Apollo Beach, which makes it nice, because being able to go into an office as an owner of an investment property, that's got to feel amazing to say, well, I know I can go here and they're going to be there.
Where's your office at?
In 109 Harbor Village.
They need to pick them up.
Oh, you got to get right on that.
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we're at 109 Harbor Village.
Okay. Awesome.
We're inside the Keller Williams.
Oh,
Okay.
that's why
Which
you.
is how I met her.
Okay.
Yeah.
This all just came together for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm with Century 21. They're not in my office.
No, but you
But
know
that
what?
doesn't mean I can't use you.
I was going to
Right.
say,
Yeah.
you can certainly, and your
Oh, no.
investors can absolutely
Yeah.
use them.
Well, I think we'd still have the townhouses and stuff that we rented if we had a property management,
And
because
that's-
it
you have
was
a
so
good property management.
yeah.
Right.
Well, that was a problem. We couldn't find anybody, and
So I got something for
and
you.
I had to be, well, we sold, because it was like
We
just
can
a
sell
pain
you
in the
some
butt.
new
I was
ones.
going to say, Angie and
I'm
I
good.
can
I have
totally
I
sell
have
you-
the vacation rental, and that's enough stress
I
for
got
me.
some land over there in Apollo Beach. You might be interested.
We just
in.
bought 1.6 acre. What was it? 1.69?
1.6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1.7
This is coming up
acres.
in the show tonight.
Yeah, later
Yeah.
tonight.
You're going to need property management for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Definitely.
know. I'm
I don't
using my
know.
own. I'm doing it myself.
We'll discuss this later on in the show because
I'll
there's-
need armed security.
I was going to say. All right, so I'm just going to lay
Go
it
ahead.
out there.
Go ahead. Hey, we don't want to steal from them
No,
because we
but-
want to hear. So, what's the name of your business? Okay,
Which
so
happens to be right here
there we
behind us.
go. And how? Who came up with the name? Was it Hannah or Joy or both? Neither.
It was my husband.
Oh,
Oh, he
Oh,
gets
see,
credit
a
for
guy
something.
gets credit. Finally, there's a
Well,
guy
he did
involved.
At least one thing right. I don't know much about it. Look, honestly, disclaimer here. I know nothing about her husband. I'm just
He did two things right. He married her.
well, that's
Yeah.
true. He got smart enough to marry you, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Smart
you
man.
and you guys worked. We were talking earlier. You guys worked together before you started this business.
in the mortgage business.
Yeah, so she worked with me in the mortgage business, and then
Love the mic. There you
when
go.
I came to Florida, I was helping a nonprofit here for a while, and they hired her to do the marketing.
Nice.
And so that's when I realized, man, she has so much talent. She was managing a whole team at 20 years old.
Cool.
3-4 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, big time.
I'm like, man, we can do something with this.
Exactly. Dude, that is Mama Bear
Okay.
that goes, oh no, she's good. She's
Yeah.
coming back. She's coming back. And I'm gonna take
I'm
full
taking
advantage of
my
that.
kid.
And so Hannah, you just got married, right?
Congratulations.
Get right up on that, my girl.
Congratulations.
Cool.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Congratulations.
Nice.
Some wine too.
Oh yeah, you did get some wine from a previous guest.
Yeah.
So tell me what is the best part about you? Because we always in real estate we have a tendency to complain about the worst things in our job.
We complain.
Just a little, just an inch.
We
But tell me
complain.
what is the best part about the job, whether it's just being able to work with your mom one-on-one, or just in general, just whatever is the best piece of the job. I don't want to like influence that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I love working with my mom. On the business side, I love like when we get to tell owners that we got a qualified tenant. And I also love to see happy tenants in their property. So just like those wins, it's like all of this was worth it. Everyone's happy.
So is it
hard to be a renter sometimes?
Is it hard to? So we've had people stay with us because of like the one thing that was interesting is the gal that lived with us for a while. So she was in an abusive relationship, and she had a restraining order against her husband. And we're like, okay. And then she's trying to rent, and no one would rent to her. And she's like, but it's a restraining order against him. And I'm like, whoa, if I wouldn't rent to her.
No, you're like, I don't want crazy coming.
Because I don't want the crazy guy coming and bashing in the doors, and then
question
I'm
you
out a
ask
bunch of
people?
money. I mean, it would show up in the back. It showed up in the background check, right?
Yeah, so we check credit, criminal, and eviction. So if it shows a good criminal, it might be something, but we haven't had that specific
Yeah.
experience.
But it was a trip because then I'm like, well, my wife was like, just stay with us for 4 or 5 months until everything got,
Works out.
sorted out and whatever. But it was a problem. I mean, she had okay credit. She, no criminal history, but because she had a crazy ex, well,
It
at the
comes up
time
in the
it wasn't an ex. Now it's an ex, but it showed up and I'm like, she goes, no one will rent to me. I'm like, I wouldn't rent to you. I think about it with the potential damage to the property. I'm like, this could as an owner, this could cost a lot of money. So, but I think it's hard to rent. I mean,
It's getting harder.
It's expensive, and
Right.
people live
paycheck to paycheck. Let's be real.
they don't save. We see them going to
Right. 'Cause
people
that's why
just
they're not
make
buying.
people make bad decisions. They go to Starbucks. I cringe at all that stuff.
Yeah, they're like paying
Yeah.
$6 for a coffee instead of saving some money and making the pot yourself is really an issue. But I will say this with rentals, you have some stuff that's on the more inexpensive side, maybe possibly coming up in the future, correct?
Yeah, we have a few townhouses in Barstow coming up. So that's just south of Lakeland. They're going to be, I'm not exactly sure exactly what rate they're going to be at, but around 1,800. And then we have a few in Tampa below that mark.
And those 1,800s.
1,800 and 1,700 in Ybor City.
And those 1,800 you said were 4 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's
I
awesome.
mean, I have a friend that is in Plant City for the same reason as, she's got a 3-bedroom townhouse for like $1,400. And here it would be $3,000, $4,000,
So you have the biggest thing is you have things that are affordable. And that's huge right now because that's a big deal in the United States is finding something that's affordable. And I can't sell as much as I'd like to. I can't get you a mortgage that's that cheap. I can't.
So I
Nothing
think
I can
the hard part, I have a couple of renters I'm working with right now, and I've been showing them some stuff. And the hard part is they have to qualify with 3 times the income of the rent. And, for a lot of single people, that can be tough. Or if somebody in the household has bad credit then they can't be on the application. And so then it's on one person to try to qualify. So it is getting harder and harder. And I think one of the things that I get asked the most from people who are trying to rent is, do you have any direct rent? Meaning a landlord rent versus property management and things like that. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, you actually want a good property management because they're available, to help you when you have problems. If the landlord's on a cruise, they're not here to help you.
When we're on
And
a
so
So then
knowing
all
we,
consistent regulations and
yes.
policies, whereas like when you're we may decline more.
Closer.
We may end up declining more applications than maybe like a landlord would, but our whole job is really like protecting our investors and like, making sure that they're getting qualified tenants. It goes both ways. We want tenants. We want every applicant to work out. Obviously, like
Right.
we don't want anybody
Right.
to not work out, but we need to make sure that the property, which is the investment, is managed well
And being taken care of.
And then also with landlords, like I've heard stories throughout, like when I was in school, where people just, when I was in university, where people would just, the landlord would say, I don't want you guys in here anymore. And it's like a lot of times landlords don't do proper leases, and it's like you as the tenant need that lease. You as the tenant need that liability on both sides. The owner needs it and the tenant needs it.
Yeah,
Sure.
because when properties started escalating, a lot of landlords were like, peace out, I want to sell this thing, because they could make a
Right.
lot of money, right? And I'll be honest, that kind of happened to me. I was renting at the time, going through a life change divorce. And I had a direct landlord. He was amazing, actually, but he came to me and said, when you're ready, I will be selling. Instead of kicking me out by saying like, hey, I'm selling, you got to go, right? So he was nice about it, but it pushed me to.
Oh, we just kicked them out. I just
move
looked and said,
forward.
this is going to cost me like 18 grand to repair
Right.
this thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm selling. Get the heck out.
Yeah.
No.
But you're right. And I think the important thing for like realtors out there that are working, because really that's another part of your business, is targeting realtors that have investors that have want somebody to be their property management. So if realtors are out there listening, like having somebody to be a good property management to really make sure you're vetting out people is important, because you are protecting their investment, so that they can go
Right.
invest more out there. So
The
it's
other
important.
thing is, I do hear too that you're saying that you're also making sure you're mindful of the tenant and making sure they do, because you don't want the guy who's like, Teo over here goes, I can make money, you're out. And the state of
Well,
Florida
but
does
mine
have,
had to do with damage and everything else.
yeah,
But
I know. I'm just picking
it just,
on you. I'm
um,
literally just picking on Teo, by the way.
No.
But you don't, because there are laws that protect the tenant out there, but only, like you said, if they are properly in a lease that protects them for what they are. So as a tenant, you want to be with a company that's going to protect you, and as a landlord, you want someone who's protecting your interests.
and you hear the horror stories. There's a couple large organizations that have an enormous amount of properties in the Apollo Beach area.
There are,
And
that's not a lot.
the imitation homes. Imitate. Yeah, it's the other name, but yeah,
Invitation homes, not
imitation.
invitation.
Yeah, I that was a purposely
That would be,
fraudulent or Freudian slip there. Those people are dirtbags. They
Did we run the
Wait.
disclaimer?
yeah,
tonight?
disclaimer, by the way.
Just
Just
one
checking.
No, the amount of people that they rented moldy homes and all of that, and they don't
They
repair
don't call
anything.
people back.
They don't call people
Yeah.
back. I mean, we had a very good
had
friend
friends
of,
like
of,
that.
of ours that were renting a house there, and it wasn't cheap. It was close to $3,000 a month, and no air conditioning for freaking 4 months. That kind of stuff just is
That's-
criminal. And I'll say they are fraud scumbags, and I will say that very publicly. Sue me, I don't care.
Him, not us.
Yeah, me. But
That
but-
would be
but-
the disclaimer.
But the problem is those are the wrong kind. I'm so happy to meet you and to have a small business that is looking out for the right reasons
For
and
both
the
sides.
right
It's
and the
both
right
sides. It's
right
not
both
just-
sides.
You're not looking
um,
after the money. You're looking at both people, making sure both people are well.
And I
taken
think
care
that's
of.
important.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
I've been with clients who, after they picked a house, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it with these people. Then they were calling me 6 months later. I have a friend who's in Winter Haven, and she goes to these concerts with me all the time. And she's been in 4 rentals alone this year, and we're only in March, because the rentals that the people put her in, there's mold, there's damage.
Oh.
She's finding all this stuff out after the fact, and they want to keep her deposit for their problems. And she's
I am so happy that
not
all of
good.
my employees now own their houses. I went through all that drama over the years
hard.
with employees that were renting, And I'm like, okay, just cut out the start. You know, I'm like, got to be the rent-a-dad, you know, like my new business. Because I'm like, you need to get out of that mode. And the houses locally, so many of them are with these big conglomerates where you have no pull. So about how
But
many
having-
properties, you know, how do
Having
you?
you guys, that makes a complete difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you? So you had the mortgage business and you morphed into this, right? So you're like, hey, there's a need, and there's definitely a need.
For somebody
How do you?
qualified.
So Hannah, it sounds like you're the marketing genius here. So how do you apply your
You can take the mic off of that.
skills or whatever? Yeah, you can just grab it
You
and
can
just
bust out in
jump on
karaoke if
there.
you want to.
Yeah. So let's hear about, you know, what your strategy. I'll put you on the spot, you know, and see what what's been your strategy, and how do you? I mean, referrals are probably a huge portion of this because you do a good job. People, you know, all you have to do is answer the phone and do a good job, and you can grow the business. But how'd you get involved? How'd you get started?
So first of all, it starts with good photos and then a good listing, just like any.
Oh yeah, you're a
real
photographer
estate.
too, right?
Yeah.
So you
yeah,
do all
I
that.
the
Okay.
Photos, and then we get them professionally edited. Just make sure they're like that, just like any real estate photo should look. A lot of people who do rentals just do them on their phone because they want to save on that bank. But
Yeah, I might have done that once or twice for about 15 years.
But like,
Not anymore. Not
And
anymore.
you didn't rent for as high as it could have rented for.
we try to represent the house as well as we can, and then we also do some virtual staging, because a lot of the houses we rent out are vacant. So we try to make sure people can imagine what it's like, and then we have really good software that cascades to like 30 plus websites.
That's awesome.
And then I check up on them a lot to make sure that they're boosted properly, everything's going well, and if for some reason we're not getting any calls on one of them, then it might be another discussion about pricing or how the listing is looking. But if it's going well, I try to, any lead that comes in, first of all, our software reaches out to them, but I also try to call every single lead and then book them. Like,
are you looking for a job? I'm just
Nope, her mom is sitting next to her.
Right?
And her mom is her boss.
I'll poach anybody.
Mom,
if
listen,
there's a good worker, I'll
don't
poach.
bring out Mama Bear because I'm in the middle right now, and I'm not fighting a Mama Bear.
Wait a second. And I asked them to come on. Don't be getting
Okay,
me in
you
trouble.
I might do boxing classes,
So
but
Joy,
I'm not
you
doing it.
got a winner here. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, you have a
She's
lot of
phenomenal.
reasons to be proud. Okay.
So I have my laptop open and I call them and I'm like, we have this time available, I'll book you in. And I try to book them right on the phone. That way they don't have the link sent to them, and then I don't know when they'll book it. And then I let them remind them that their showing's coming, and then either they do a showing by
I
themselves,
know, right?
or
Do you not want to hire her?
or
Totally.
we'll go do the showing with them.
Do you have a sister?
Teo, stop.
Dude, I'm getting her before you are.
Do you know how hard this is?
I
Do you-
just
do
want
you
somebody
guys
for
know?
my investors, so let's leave her alone doing what
Okay.
she's doing.
But do you guys know how hard this skill set is?
Yes,
it
we
like
do.
doesn't
Yes.
exist.
Are we not in real estate?
Yes,
Oh,
that's why we're
man.
like, stop taking her away where we need her.
Yes, leave her be.
So Teo, go behind the computer tonight.
Yeah, go over there with Howard.
So I have a question. When you're
Okay.
marketing, so are you doing one campaign out to investors and realtors to get the properties in, and then are you doing different campaigns out to get renters for those properties?
Yeah. So for renters, it's mainly like, it's honestly mainly Zillow and all of those platforms we get
Right.
rentals from, but you can talk about investors.
Yes, so it's all relationship based. Mostly everything that's coming in right now is through relationship.
And are you doing short-term rentals and annual
No.
rentals?
No, we used to do short term, and then we pivoted to long term.
Well, you got smarter.
I got smarter, but it wasn't even so much that, it's that I could do the projections better for the owners. So I felt more confident in the ROI than I did with the short term, because, you know, a hurricane can come in and then all of a sudden owners can't pay their mortgage, you know?
Right.
And so
Well-
with the long-term rental, I could do better ROI projections, which was more suited my background in finance.
So okay, so this is me being stupid. So people actually will buy a home,
Mhm.
finance it, and rent it, not pay cash.
Absolutely. Why would you pay
you put as
cash?
little amount down. So it's called a DSCR loan. You put as little amount.
I take the tax hit on the
No.
credit.
You put as little amount down
Wow.
as you can.
Right.
and then you let the renter pay the mortgage, and you
Yeah.
take the profit every month.
And you keep your cash for better and
Right. And you
let me
keep
not
your
say
lump sum.
better investments,
Well,
but
to
other
have more of them.
investments that you can do more of.
So
Think about it as you have, say you have $1 million, and you can put $100,000 down on 10 homes, or you can buy one home.
So
Or you buy them for
I have-
137, rent them out for 10 years,
Well,
and
if you
sell them
can
for
find
1.8.
137 nowadays, good luck.
God bless you.
And the
because
type of
that's
renter
not
you're gonna get.
happen.
But
yeah.
but to your point, I have a personal friend. He has 21 rentals, and I had a property and sent it to him. He goes, "Well, I only pay cash for rentals." And I said, "What?" I said, "You own all your properties in cash?" And he said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, absolutely." And I'm like, I get it if that's your risk level that you're willing to take, right? As an
Well,
investor.
or a
But-
minute mortgage where it's non.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So your comment about not being able to pay the mortgage if it's not rented, that would freak me out because as an investment, I wouldn't want to risk losing it.
But if your tenant can't be in there because of a hurricane, you're going in forbearance anyway, probably. So you're not going to have your mortgage during that time while you're getting the place fixed.
Okay.
But the reality is, somebody like that I'm talking about that had 21 properties all in cash, right? You're sitting there with tons of equity and money burning in a ground that's making
With
you no more.
no interest,
You could
you're
have
not getting
I'm
anything
making
out of it.
20%.
You could literally have
plus the property.
150 rentals for the same amount of
Yeah.
money you have out.
Right,
That are
that's
all
greedy.
making you money, and they're all building equity.
It's leveraging what you have
Yeah.
to the maximum standpoint versus I have one rental because I have, say you have $300,000 to spend. I'm going to buy one property. I'm going to rent it out for X. Or you could buy
You're gonna make
three
$200 a month.
properties
Okay,
with a
great.
minor mortgage and go from there. You know, it's about leveraging your money in the right way. If you
Yeah.
can do 3 properties with minor mortgages that, you know, again, she's right. If it's hurricane season, chances are you're going to go into a forbearance because they usually give you those
Okay.
and you're okay there. And if not, you're still at a point where if you're smart enough with the money that's coming in, you're leaving it in a savings position. You're doing basically when you're renting in, if you're a smart investor, you have the minor mortgage. So you pay off the mortgage or you're paying on the mortgage. You're paying if you're in my brain, if you're smart, you've got a home warranty on the house. So you're not paying all of that. You're paying a small home warranty company, and then you're banking 50% of the extra that's coming in. That's over the mortgage. That 50% is going to pay no matter what. And the other 50% is paying you back, and you're paying yourself back as if yourself is a company and you are your own bank.
So each one of them properties is going to make a certain return, right? So if you're paying it all cash, let's say, and you're able to buy one property, and that property is making you $200 a month in profit after you've covered your home warranty and all those things, right? Or you could take that same amount of money and go buy 10 properties that are all making you $200 a month profit, and they're also making you 3 to 5% equity build every month. Then why would you not move that money into making more of it? So I get it. It's a risk level mindset, but when you put it on paper and you really show somebody, like, so you could make this and it'll take you how many years to make back $5,000 at $200 a month, or you can make $5,000 quickly in 2 months if you had multiple properties. It's just
See, I just look at
understanding
the numbers. Like when we had the office building, okay, you know, we paid it off in 3 years,
right,
with the rent, and then we had the rent for 14 years.
But what was the rent doing? Was it buying more property, or was it moving? Was it just sitting there?
No, we just take the 60 grand a year and invested it 16 to 18%. So that's making 16 to 18%. And then at the end of the time, we made around a 1,100% profit when we sold the building. So you turn around and go, okay, I ended up with a 38% return on investment with zero freaking risk.
Which is really good for a single person doing.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. For me, that's,
completely
and I
understand.
look at like the rental house that we have on the beach, what we paid for it, what we get for it, and where we're at, and you end up going, okay, I'm making 25, 30% on that money.
But you're a single person making some small investments to the side. Not that they're small,
and
but
that's why I was looking at it from this going, I can't imagine like getting a mortgage and being risky. The big investment, like the real estate investment trust and stuff like that, I totally get their leverage.
The other thing is you're talking about short term. These are weekly
we all said yearly
Yeah.
You know, we
But
had the yearly rentals.
There are some individuals that I even know here in Apollo Beach that own 20, 30, 40, 50 rentals.
Sure.
And I mean, that's a business, right?
Right.
And
Right.
to do that takes
need
a lot
multiple.
of time, and you
Oh,
need
yeah.
somebody helping you manage all those
And
things.
in that
That's where
situation,
you guys come,
100%.
which is
And
exactly what you guys
even
do.
having just 2 rentals, a management company is well worth it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Now, the
know?
other
But
thing
that's
is-
how they can scale their business and continue to do more when someone
I didn't
else
mean to
is handling
hijack it. I
all
was
the-
just
It
looking
makes
at a
sense what
mortgage
you're
that where
saying.
it's so tight that you
Yeah.
can't
Right.
make your mortgage if it's not rented. That to me, that just
And
is
it
like,
shouldn't.
why, man, you're risking
Honestly,
a big
it
ass
shouldn't,
investment.
because you're supposed to be at what 25% down for the most part. There are some
Yeah.
loans that are 20%
So-
down, but you're not going into a rental like that at 3.5%. That's
Right.
not happening.
Correct.
So in the last 2 years, you know how the market has gone.
Mhm.
Right.
So we're seeing more accidental landlords. So where people
Right.
need to move and they can't because they're going to be out of pocket 40, 50 grand.
Right.
Right.
So they're coming to rent
They
it.
bought when the market was high,
Yeah.
and now
So-
they're not
Now
going to
it's
get a
not.
return.
So in
now
that,
they're-
absolutely,
they're
that makes
forced-
100%.
So
They're forced
high
to now rent.
mortgages, like, you know, and it's scary for them.
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of landlords I really enjoy working with them because I can sit and talk the numbers with them. I'll go through the ROI. You know, you lose your homestead. We go through everything together on the monthly side.
See, and you talk about the things that most people, when they go, oh,
Mhm.
I have to move back, which happened because a lot of
Mhm.
people had to go back to work in the office.
Mhm.
They don't understand that there's more to renting out their house than just,
Yeah.
all right, I need somebody to help me rent it out.
Right.
It is the ROI. It is you lose your homestead. It is now your insurance is different.
That's right.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's why I feel like people really need to talk to you guys,
Mhm.
because there's so much more to it than, oh, I have to collect rent.
And
It's not that
so
simple.
I have a
right.
friend that's being forced into this, like you're talking about right
Mhm.
now. And I was talking to her, and she was asking me some of these questions. And let's be honest, like this is not
That's
our
not my
forte,
thing.
right? And so I was asking some questions today in my office, and the reality is, like, we're not tax experts, we're not insurance experts, and so it's hard as a real estate agent because we want to be their go-to, that we can't always be, because I can't give information legally to somebody that I'm not, licensed to give. So
Right.
to have somebody like you guys, for us to turn around and say, you know what, talk to them. They can not only help you market it and get it rented and all of that, but they can talk to you about your tax ramifications, your insurance ramifications, and all of that,
Yes.
which actually I'm going to be sending her card as soon as this is over.
Thank you.
So
I have it
that
downstairs.
is so, she gave me one.
And you know,
but
that whole tax thing is
it's a big
so
deal.
needed.
It's a really
I am
big deal.
shocked at the people, having the local group, right? We got 19,000 followers or something on the group, and people are like, "Oh my God, our taxes went up." I'm like,
No
"Duh."
You know what? If
I mean-
I
I
bring
mean,
out the boxing
how-
gloves and get between you, we might like double our viewership.
How do they not? How do people not? Do real
okay.
estate agents
No,
not
no.
talk about
Here's what
that, or is
happens.
it?
Here's what happens. I know what you're going at. And this happens mostly in new construction sites. What happens is they don't take a property manager, they don't take a real estate agent, and they go to these beautiful model homes.
Right.
And that person there is the model home person for a reason. They work for said company, aka I Am Builder 101. They work for those builders. They do not work for you. They're very nice to you and they're sweet, and they really do have their they don't want to try to do bad things. However, they don't know what Angie and I and Joy and Hannah know.
You
that-
have to get an expert.
That you have to have somebody with you. And what happens is they look at it and they go, oh, the taxes, say in Waterset, when we moved here, the taxes are only $3,000. No. That's the land tax plus the CDD. That's the unimproved land. And then the following year, their taxes are $8,000. Their mortgage went up $750 a month. And they can't figure out why it happened. And I've watched.
We should do a whole show on taxes.
we
continually-
should.
I've
should.
seen it, and I will even talk to people who are like, "Oh my God, they're selling their house. They've only been in a year and a half. Why are they selling so low?" I go, "Because their taxes went up, and here's what your taxes will be when you buy
The
it."
taxes went
Well,
up, their insurance
and
went up.
we see it with the people in my neighborhood, right? So.
Yep. They don't look at
People look and go, okay, we bought our house 25 years ago, so our taxes are X.
right.
And,
So-
we have that 3% cap on this house because this
at
was homesteaded.
your price that you.
But like if
paid.
I sell the house on Jekyll Island, my taxes are insane.
Right.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
So for that
they're like
person-
$3,000 a month. and people are like, oh my God. And I'm like, well,
That's funny.
cause it's a
Sorry,
waterfront.
mine are 8.
Well, I
A
mean,
month.
it's a house on the beach,
Right.
you know, and it's not homesteaded. So, you know, it's $30-some thousand a year for property
Oh,
taxes.
30. I thought you said 3,000 a year.
A month.
No, a
Oh,
month.
a month.
Oh, okay.
A month.
So here's what I would like to say to everybody out there that's watching right now.
Hire a professional.
Hire a professional. you need somebody like them if you're going to be renting, whether you're renting your home that you're no longer being in, or you're going to rent a home because maybe for some reason you don't need to purchase. Some people are only here for 2 years. Purchasing is not in their forte, although right now it might be. But the whole point of it is go to the tax office and ask them, if I buy this house at this price, what will my taxes be? Call them. You can also go on the property appraiser site and they will give you, there's an estimator right there, and it'll give you a small range of about $2,000 to $3,000 on what your taxes possibly could be. Don't go into things blind, but more importantly, you wouldn't go into court without a lawyer. Why go without a property manager or real estate agent?
And if you're going to rent a house from Joe Blow, you know, you got to do the due diligence. I mean, I am shocked at the people that rent from Joe Blow,
right?
The independent landlord, and they don't have the details on a lease or whatever. I mean, we see it all the time. You see all the posts. How do I get out? How do I do this? How do I do this?
They're just Googling a lease and using it, not even know if it's legal in Florida and everything else. So I think, so I'm going to ask the white elephant in the room.
Go jump in here. Take control.
Like, I think 40 or 50% of people who are signing the lease don't even read it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
It's like click the box for, you know, did you read all the disclosures? Click the box and you didn't even scroll it, right?
Right.
I think the same thing. And actually, I had somebody very near and dear to me had to break her lease recently in a major, large apartment building. And she said, no, they told me when we rented that it would give them 30 days notice and we'd be fine. And I said, can you send me the lease? I'm going to read it for you. And
because it's not,
because it's 13 pages long.
Right.
And I said, did you read the cancellation stuff? And she's like, they told us 30 days notice. And I said, well, they is a salesperson and they probably handed you the front page and the last page of that lease and said, here you go, here's the lease, and oh, by the way, sign here, right? So she sent it to me, and on my phone I scrolled through it and found the cancellation that actually it's 6 months she's on the hook for. And I said, it's right here in writing. Like, you can't even be mad because it's right here in writing. You
and
signed
you initial the bottom of the page.
You signed this lease, and you welcome to adulting, right?
Yes.
And that's, she was young, first time to ever get an apartment, didn't go well, and needed to get out of it. And I'm like, you're on the hook,
and
you have no recourse.
And that's another reason for needing a property manager, because you're going to go over the lease, you're going to tell them the way it should be, or at least the way it's written. And you're going to say, this is what is required and this is what you need. This way, when you go through things, you're not going through them alone. I can't say enough for that.
Yeah.
So as we have people who are, because we deal with it all the time when we go run numbers with people, and this is the important part. So
go ahead.
We're going to wrap up with this part.
But we deal with people all the time that, and I'm very honest with people that want me to list their house. And I just ran numbers for somebody the other day, and I said, I'll be honest, I don't mind listing your house, but looking at the numbers, you would probably be better to rent it out for a while.
Right.
And
I've
hold
said
on
that a lot.
Yeah. They've only
100%.
had it a year and a half, and they're not going to, break even.
Yep.
And they're like, we don't want to deal with it. Right. And so I'm going to actually, before I even list it, I'm going to send them your information. But I think the important thing is, like, what does it cost somebody? At the end of the day, what's the white elephant in the room? If somebody is in that situation and needs to sell and they can't, or they're not going to make any money and they want to rent it out, like, what's it going to cost them so they can evaluate that?
So we have 3 different packages, and we're totally transparent. It's on our website. So you can go on the website.
And what is your website, just so people know out there?
It's megadorpm.com. So, and then,
Megador, like property management, megadorpm.com.
Yeah. And so you can go in and you can see all the pricing and all that you get in each package. So just giving you the most popular package is our middle one, and it's we charge $59 a month. So whether it's, well, that's not all.
Yeah.
Spend that at Starbucks.
Time out.
Yeah. So we charge $59 a month. There's no onboarding fee. We don't have any hidden upfront fees or signing fee. So it's just straight up $59 a month. When a tenant is placed, it's 50% of the first month's rent.
Okay.
And then starting the next month, we charge $6.9 plus the $59. So we do a hybrid.
6.9%.
6.9.
That's
Okay.
still
Dude, I pay
expensive.
27%.
That's still
That's-
that's
But
relatively
it's short-term rental.
inexpensive.
Short term is
Yeah.
a lot more work.
It's totally
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Short term is, but a lot of property managements are 10%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10 to
So-
15.
So we did the hybrid pricing, and it helps people with higher end properties
Mm-hmm.
to be more equalized, because when you're charging 10% flat, on a $4,000 property it's 400, on a $2,000 property it's 200. So which one ends up being more work, right? So what we tried to do is a hybrid pricing to equalize the playing field.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's I like that.
Yeah.
I love your pricing.
Yeah. And
So-
then the middle plan also includes an interior property check once a year. So we do a maintenance check, and that kind of gives us eyes on the property as well for the owner.
Cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So how can they get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you and they don't talk to Angie, I, or Teo
Yeah.
or Howard?
You can just give us a call.
What-
656-233-2312.
Or they can go to megadoorpm.com.
Yes.
Yep.
Or they can text. You can also get a hold
And we'll have
of
to
any
put
of
them on
us.
southshorelive.us
Well,
on
yeah,
the directory.
We're going to
Yeah.
add you to our directory
yeah.
on southshorelive.us. So we'll add you to there. Thanks so much, guys, for coming. I'm
thanks
so
for
happy.
having
you
us.
It was a
came.
blast.
Yeah.
And congratulations on the whole marriage thing. That's like super
Yay.
cool.
Don't let Teo steal your daughter.
Up next, Teo's book.
Oh, man. Okay.
We've got
Teo's
Salty,
big
Yeah.
local news.
big local news, Teo's book, Teo's big local news, the Salty Shamrock, and the holidays.
Yeah.
And, oh, and
Oh, yeah. Water
and
restrictions.
we
So
have water
let's do
restrictions.
one or two commercials and then hit
Yes,
it.
and
I happen to be here with Aldo, who's in charge and runs the Cars and Coffee here in Waterset, which is a local phenomenon, which is kicking butt here and is a free event. He's going to tell you all about it. Hold tight.
Guys, my name is Aldo. I run the Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're here every second Saturday of the month at the landing in Waterset.
What's it cost, Aldo?
Nothing. Here's the only thing I'm going to ask.
There you go.
If you like cool cars, cool motorcycles. It doesn't matter if it's a classic and exotic. It doesn't matter what it is. Come here. We need cool cars and cool people. If you're cool, you got to come over here.
You're welcome
Every
here.
Second Saturday of the month. Check it out. We have the food truck. We have White Claw. We have the vendors. Free coffee. We always have
I love the
everything.
Ackie. You know I'm a Honda guy.
Yes, yes. So check out the Acura NSXs, the Cybertruck, everything. And guys, follow us. Follow us, Waterset Cars and Coffee, in Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month.
Hey, South Shore community. Join Howard, the unknown drummer, and Captain Teo Leonard for our weekly Tuesday evening fireside chat. Grab a seat by the fire as we feature great local businesses, because we support small businesses. Exciting events and dive into key world issues where your opinion matters most. Want to be a featured guest? Pitch your business or event on the show? Just reach out and connect. The show is proudly produced by Tampa Bay Sports and Entertainment Magazine. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Tune in every Tuesday. We'd love for you to join our fun and connect with us.
Everybody, this is Howard from South Shore Live, and we've got these fantastic shirts available at the Co-op at Apollo Beach. My slogan, good morning, don't be a shitty person, along with a fantastic logo in the back. We've got 5 or 6 different types, all different colors, and we're keeping it simple. Buy them at the local Co-op, and messages will tell you how to get them. Thanks, everyone. Good morning, don't be a shitty person.
20% on each. Hey, boys and girls, what's happening? Earl here with the Sweet TT Bar. Just dropping by to say hey. Hope everybody's doing well. The holidays are quickly approaching. We're excited for Christmas. The meetup with Santa Claus last weekend was awesome. Man, we had such a great time. A lot of kiddos came through, and parents, and everybody was cool, and man, just chilled and laid back. It was a great day. So thank you guys for that. I want to thank Howard and Joanne and T.O. for bringing us on just to say hey. We love you guys. Thank y'all for all that you do for the community. And your show is awesome, man. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Go eat some devil crabs. Peace out.
Welcome back.
This is such a trip having Howard in the booth and us out here.
I know, right? Welcome
This is
back,
way more
everyone.
fun.
And we're gonna end with some local stuff going on.
I
here
got
in the
to
South
tell you
Shore.
that so Eddie, for those people, any of us locals, we know who Eddie is because he served us a drink at one of the 42 bars, that we have hung out at over the years. And he had an accident, hit his head, and extremely damaged. And if you think about it, as a bartender, you don't have insurance. I mean, in the majority of the places, Circle's unique and Fins, some of those larger people,
Yeah, they can have
the
that.
employees have basic real insurance, but for the most part, as a bartender or a server, you don't have insurance. You don't have that coverage. And, Eddie's just looking whether he'll be able to work again or not. And I have to commend, Sean got up and talked and he was, you got to love Sean, with the owner of Salty Shamrock, right? Because he immediately goes to, this is Terry, this is Oogie, this is his employees and his staff were the ones that put it together. Sean goes, hey, let's do it. And the employees at Salty's, and it was a blast. I bartended with a couple gals from Linksters and CJ Saloon.
So what he's talking about is he went in on Saturday.
Yep. So Sunday. It was Sunday.
Sorry, Sunday.
Salty's had a big fundraiser for Eddie, one of the bartenders who was severely injured in an accident.
And I think the cool thing is, Salty's has done such a great job. They've been on our show before,
right?
But they've done such a great job of really being a local community icon here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And Eddie is a local community icon,
right?
Salty's,
he's worked at many different restaurants and bars throughout the area.
People from Linksters, they brought in people from Cigars on the Boulevard.
CJ's, Beef O'Brady's was there. I came in
bartender.
after Cindy Campbell, who's one of the managers there, managing bartenders at Beef O'Brady's. There were people from Circles. There were people from Fins. There were people from, I think, Ybor Grill, Latitudes. Just all the local places. They came. Everybody worked for free. All the proceeds went to Eddie. I don't know what they ended up doing it. I
there
came
was a
in.
ton of door prizes.
Dude, I came in.
So much going on.
I came in with a wad of cash and just simply I bought a bunch of T-shirts and said just donate them back.
Right.
But you slung some beers, right?
Yeah. So I tended bar. I was a celebrity bartender. So I had an absolute blast. I worked in the outside bar, and it was funny because a lot of people came up to screw with me, and then
I can't imagine.
And then it's credit card, and I worked in the cash only bar.
You're like, read the rules,
and I'm like, all right, it's $6 for this, it's $7 for that, it's $8 for that. Sorry,
right.
Credit card only. But I had to laugh because I paid over $150 in drinks for my friends because they only had credit cards. So if you were one of those,
and you paid for the drinks.
Yeah, it cost me several $100s to be a celebrity bartender. So I worked and paid to be a bartender. And I don't regret it for a minute because it went to a person that has taken good care of me for as long as I can remember in Apollo Beach. I didn't know Eddie well. He wouldn't know me. But over the years, I'm like, oh, he's there.
Yeah,
you always saw him and you recognized him. You may not have known his name.
But the other thing that goes to show is what a great say.
I was just going to say.
Oh man, we had people, the gals I worked with, from CJ's and Linksters, it was absolutely great. There were bartenders from the Hard Rock Casino,
right, and
that came.
How many people do you think were there?
There was hundreds. They pulled
hundreds and hundreds.
they
I mean,
had
there was
bar outside.
absolutely no
Thousands?
parking. I got totally lucky as I made the parking lot circle about 5 times, and I was going to go park over with the Bohemian in her spot, and just as I was circling around, somebody
Shout
was
out to
leaving,
Nicole.
so I was able to sling in right there in the front. But it
But
was
does show
it
how
was
close we
it
are
was
as a
packed, and
community.
it was packed from freaking 11 a.m. until 8 at night.
my phone blew up all day.
Oh
Sunday.
yeah.
That's probably a
I-
couple thousand people.
Yeah.
I mean, I
people came and went all day.
I knew
and-
I knew 150 to 200 people just when I was
yeah.
there for just a few hours, and I was pretty beat because
Who?
we've been gone. I got back and
Say again,
I
Howard.
jumped in.
Hey, Terry.
Terry.
Shout out to Terry. She's watching the show right now.
She's
Terry,
the best.
we love you guys.
I think that you're right. Like, if anything, the one thing I'm really, and people talk about, oh, you've lived in Apollo Beach for 13 years and why? And I'm like, I grew up in a small town in Illinois,
Mhm.
and coming down here, Apollo Beach has always felt like a small town to me. And as much as we're growing, because we are,
We definitely
At
are.
the
I miss
end of
my
the day-
1,100 people.
right? I know, I know.
I grew up in
But-
a small town outside of Philly. It was called Croydon,
But-
Croydon, Pennsylvania, and this feels the same way. It's very small town. People take care of each other, and that's super important.
And honestly, I didn't even know what had happened to Eddie.
Neither did I.
But I saw the fundraiser happening, and my phone blew up on Sunday, and they're like, "Hey, are you coming up to support Eddie?" And
Right.
I'm like, "I'm all the way over in Largo, but I'll hustle back and get back." And I got back, and friends were still there, and it's just what you do. And I got there, and I was like,
Exactly.
"Hey, what happened?" And I heard, and but you do,
And Eddie,
I
we do
think
wish you well.
Yes.
everybody
Lots of well.
really shows up for people, and kudos to Salties. And I got to say, kudos to Salties bartenders that stepped
Right.
aside for the day, because a lot of them were there and working and not getting tips and working
Right.
for the day for free.
Yeah, in
And
our
so
area, I
kudos
mean,
to all of
we
them
had
too.
So Brittany is a Salty's bartender, and she was there managing us in full debauchery and chaos. And
Teo,
Brittany,
debauchery, you?
oh man, she had to put up with our language and all our fun stuff.
And I'm sure your cigars.
No, believe it or not, I put up my cigar before I got behind the bar out of
I am
respect for
so
people.
proud of you.
But I did enjoy a cigar at the beginning and at the end. But it was just fun, and it was cool because when I got on my shift, they're like, okay, here's your code and here's the speed key, and I'm like, okay, I sold my bar in 1991. I'm like, we didn't have a speed key. I mean, we still had a knuckle machine for
Oh,
the
yeah,
credit
the
card
credit
thing, right? And you had to look up in the little book to see if they were a deadbeat. And
Those were great.
and I'm like, oh man, this would have been so much easier, because we just keyed everything in. And so in the end, I'm like, I would just tell Brittany, and then there was one of the gals from I think she was either Linksters or CJ's, and she knew that system as well. So I'm like, okay, 2 Guinness, a Mick Ultra, and a Bud Light or whatever, and ring it up, and let them ring it up and put it in. But 100% of all the tips went to Eddie, all the raffles and everything else. And
a ton of local companies came together.
Oh,
to donate.
everybody came together.
Right.
It was
all local companies that donated door prizes from their organizations and stuff. So,
Yep.
I mean,
Definitely.
it really was a community event at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I hope, Eddie, I hope this takes very good care of you and helps you out.
Howard's taking a picture of
yeah.
us.
Because I had fun, and I think everyone else had fun. It was neat. Like when I got off shift, and Joe Cap came in from Cigars on the Boulevard, he was on the show with Aqua Poles
He's awesome.
and that, and
Hopefully see him tomorrow morning.
and so it was a great time, and I'm glad we did it. So
Now,
This is why we all network, though.
Yeah.
I mean, really, at the end of the day. And if we have entrepreneurs and people who are out there hustling, like, this is a great reminder of get out there and network with people in your town and network to know people, because that's where all these door prizes come from, and that's
Right.
where celebrity bartenders come from, because we all know Teo is the mayor of Apollo Beach, and it's because you're out there networking and you know everybody.
well, and it's funny because I get a lot of flack for my business doesn't. Networking has nothing to do with my main
Right.
business, right? My main business is worldwide
but
and fundraising, and it
Amazon delivered something.
Speaking
I-
of fundraising,
I'm happy.
and
I'm
Teo,
happy just to give back to the community. I mean, I do all this to give back to the community because the community has been good to me.
But speaking of fundraising,
Yeah.
and Teo, you are the author of a new book
Yep.
that is right here from Amazon.
Because you are the ultimate fundraiser.
Because
So-
you are.
So yeah.
Tell people a little bit about this.
So I created. Well, I gotta say but it's my team, really, right? We got involved 20 years ago to build a system to generate online raffle tickets, and it's kind of funny because normal web people couldn't comprehend the need for a ticket number. When you buy an entry to a raffle and it's digital, it's simply a row in a database, right? The numbers are relevant.
Right.
The problem is we all go to these events like at Salty's and we buy a whole bunch of raffle tickets and we want that freaking number.
Right.
You want
something
that
in your
number.
hands.
Forget that it's your name
It's
on
like
the
the
back.
lotto. You get a
you
winning
know?
lotto number.
You want a ticket.
You want that ticket. And no one could understand that. So we developed and my employees I black boxed it and did that. And so we really invented the online raffle ticket stuff. And about, if you buy a raffle ticket online, there's probably about an 80% chance that it uses software that we created, in the last 20 years. And in looking at growing my business to pass on to my employees and kind of build that legacy thing, it kept coming back that Google and people see us as the pioneers. It's not a word I created, okay, but they recognize us as the pioneers, or actually me, but I want it to be about my business, not about
Well, you're
my
only as
team.
good as your team.
Yeah, I just
Right.
used
At the
T.S.
end of the
Leonard.
day.
I didn't want, they wouldn't accept like Chance to Win, the company name. So it's just, I used to use my initials rather than Teo because everyone's like Teo. But this is, for those of you that follow me, I have all kinds of call of the days and I talk about fun customer things and
They're freaking hysterical
so
sometimes.
this book has, I think, 19 call of the days about fundraising raffles and funny mistakes and happy wins. And it reads pretty easy. I mean, I could have just gone to AI and have it done, but it actually, it reads. And it was funny when I was working with my editor and they were going through it and they're like, this is a hoot because you actually wrote this. I'm like, well, yeah. And he goes, well, I get so many books that are just AI generated where the people throw this stuff in there. And he goes, this one, it's like
There's personalization. to it.
AI can't make this crap up. I mean, these
No.
stories are freaking real. And
And anybody that knows you knows their real stories because they come out almost daily.
yeah.
And you know what? And honestly, if you,
Yeah.
we have lived a few, but
I
honestly,
think I've been a butt of the few.
if you are in any kind of customer service based business, you just need to follow Teo because it will make you feel better. At
But
the end of the day, it will make you feel better as a person.
So this has, so it's kind of funny. One of the chapters talks about pricing tickets for a raffle. And this is something that I laugh about is everybody goes, well, I'm going to do one ticket for $10 and 5 tickets for $50 and 10 tickets for $100. They're going to be $10 a piece. And we're going to limit 3,000 tickets, right?
Why limit it?
Well,
And why not give a discount?
Well, hold on. So people think this is a weird thing is people think that if I'm going to limit it, I have better odds. So more people are going to buy tickets, right? If you do that and the stats with one exception in over 10,000 raffles, right? There's one exception, only one. 1 in 9 people will buy a ticket, will buy more than one ticket. It comes out to be $11.18 on a $10 ticket if you don't do a tiered price.
Right.
With the exception of the United Way. For whatever reason, the United Way, that number is skewed where it's like 1 out of 4 to 1 out of 6,
Well, I
depending
think
on the raffle.
because of their name.
I think
Sometimes
and it's
name
it's the
recognition
corporate sales or whatever. But even Ronald McDonald House doesn't get that. It's just the United Way. It's
But
really weird.
Do you do fundraisers for like smaller things? Like if like I used to, I was on the PTO.
We'll do
whatever
it
it's
for
called.
we have probably 20,000 PTOs that we help. We only do raffles. We do silent auctions as well, but I talk people out of that because it's not a good deal. But like we're the only people in the planet that can do a basket raffle. Okay, so Salties, we had a basket raffle, and there were about 50 prizes, and people could buy an arm's length with tickets. And they could put 5 tickets in one prize and 2 tickets. So they get to select their prize, right? And each prize has its own ticket pool. My software is the only one in the world that can do that. And we talk about that in the book as well.
Electronically, you mean?
Electronically. Only one in the world that can do that electronically. The problem is everybody advertises they do it, and then people get started, and then you get screwed, because they find out they can't do it. Right. And
can you do 50-50 online too?
So we can do 50-50, and we can do 50-50 with any configuration. We're doing one right now for a school where 34% goes to the winner, 33% goes to the school, 33% goes to the football team.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
And so we can break down any percentage. Anybody else, either they can't show, they'll just show the ticket
What do you
sales.
call that? It's a 34, 33, 33?
Yeah.
Instead
It's
of a
a
50-50?
Yeah. But
I'm
but
just saying
then people,
advertising wise.
right.
Yeah,
So they
it's
call it
not
a
a
50-50,
50-50,
but they break it down. And we're the only ones that can split up the pool that way. Everyone else can only show the totals. And it's such a simple, and you'll go, oh, the total, you're going to get half of it, you're going to get 50% of that number. And to us, it's like, well, you should be able to customize that. And it's so simple to do, but nobody else does it.
So what is the cost? Like if I'm I used to fundraise for my son's football. I used to fundraise for my son's
so for a
baseball,
your cost is basically zero. You can do it with what we call a zero fee, where the school or the church or whatever, and this is great for under 10 grand. Okay. Above 10 grand, it makes sense to go with our premium, and there's all kinds of logic and everything else involved. But if it's under 10 grand, it costs absolutely nothing to sign up. You have to have a Stripe account. You can't do guns. You can't do booze. Okay.
For door prize kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you can't have like alcohol in your
But you're telling
prizes.
me purses, because a lot of people do the purse raffles.
There's one
that's
purses and tools.
We do a ton of purses.
Purses are freaking
it's
awesome.
purse bingo.
Like Michael
And
Kors
we probably do 100 of those.
Oh,
and they're
they're
big
awesome.
in the pet community.
Really?
Yeah. Probably half of our purse raffles are pet type.
Pet-based things.
Yeah. Habitat. The pet. Humane Society.
Humane Society.
Like Cuyahoga
yeah.
County in Ohio, the Humane Society. They do a couple of those all the time. They call them purse bingo, but it's a purse raffle.
Okay.
And but they can sign up, and we link to their Stripe account, and then we have an upfront fee that we charge. So if it's a $10 ticket, we add $1.20, and then we cover the credit card processing both ways.
So
which is a tricky thing.
$11.20.
They pay $11.20.
Okay, so it's not
and
a fee going
$10
to the company.
$10 goes to the company. They don't pay credit card fees or anything. And that number is very specific. There's a lot of logic behind it. So about 1% of people will bail from that number. If the other people, our competitors, which are free, right, which add a 17 to 29% tip, because that number's over at 15%, right? So we do a 12% service charge added. At 15%, it goes from 1% donor fail to 25% donor fail.
And that's a huge number.
And at 17%, it goes to 30%. And at 20%, it goes to 40%. So if you were going to raise $10,000, that free raffle just cost you $4,000 with the free tipping model.
Because,
but at 12%, you're getting $9,800 on that $10,000. So it's essentially free.
That's a thing. That definitely is a thing, because my nieces and nephew go to a Catholic school up north, and they do charge 15%, and it's like
they charge 17.
Is it 17? I just remember going, damn it, I got to pay this, because
you don't have a
I
choice.
can't walk away. It's my nieces and nephews, but anybody else is going to walk away.
So that we talk about those numbers in the book, but if it's a church, if it's a school, where aunts and uncles and grandma and grandpa are involved,
That's
it's a
me.
30% fail rate. If it's a general church or like a Rotary Club or a Lions Club, it's 40%. So,
Right.
so they gain an extra.
Except me,
So,
'cause I live
so
in
they only
another
lose
state.
$3,000 instead of losing $4,000.
But I think the
Um,
greatest thing about what you're doing is, because I've done a lot of fundraising in my life for small organizations like sports teams and all of that. But most of the money comes in because we're a transient state here in Florida,
We are,
especially,
for
right?
sure.
So, like, my family is all not here in Florida.
Correct.
So hard
And-
for them to buy a hard ticket to,
And
you
that's
know,
why
door
we
prizes and
actually
that kind of
spend the
stuff.
money and don't walk away
Yeah.
because we're in
Right.
another state.
Right. And we're not there seeing their games all the time and all of that. So, I mean, every time I would do these different fundraisers for my son's teams and school and everything, you know, all of our family up north would always say, well, how do we support you guys? Because we're not there to buy the tickets. Because if we win, you know, they can't win the prize, whatever. So to be able to do this stuff online
Right.
allows organizations to really reach a lot more people and to be able to make more money.
It's the difference of $11 versus $60
Yeah.
per contribution.
So-
It's absolutely staggering the volume. And we set our pricing to, I mean, if the end of the year, if we make a couple dollars, I'm happy. I don't want to lose money, but
Right.
I didn't do this to make money.
Well,
I went
how
into
can they
this
find
cooking
this
this freaking.
book?
So they can just go to
That's a big
Chance.
deal.
So
How
Chance,
can you
you can
find
get
it?
it for free, actually.
What? Free?
Yeah.
This book
So
is
so
free?
you can buy it for $20,
Or-
or you can get the digital copy for free on Chance to Win. And the whole reason I did this was to simply, I kept getting asked the same questions over and over again. So
Right.
it was a way for me to say, okay, and I went into this cooking and screaming. We've talked about before because I've written books
Right.
before, two others, and one
And I wrote a book, so I totally
kind of
understand. I've
won
written
and
an author.
but
I feel
really
like a
won.
loser
So
right
so
now.
this is
Oh,
like
no, this
is like
yeah.
2.5
Get
or
you a book.
whatever.
We'll get
It's-
you
it's
into a
not-
book, dude.
So is there an audiobook? Because
No.
does Captain Teo actually do the audiobook
No,
as well?
but
We need to totally
I
audiobook
might
you.
do that. I might do that.
Do that right here.
Yeah.
Because if there's personal stories in here, they need to be told.
They,
by you.
and
They-
they,
they
need
are-
to
they
have
are
your
fun.
inflection of your
Oh,
voice.
it has my inflection when people read it. So I've had people read it and go, "God, this sounds like you,"
Yeah,
know,
but that's
because they're
know
because
you
they
and
know me.
We can hear
But-
your voice in our
But on
head.
chancetowin.org, and we're redeveloping the website and stuff like that. And there's a couple different. If you go to like the
Totally see that happening.
sign
what a
up.
Great idea.
You can do it, and you get my newsletter. Which, by the way, it's so funny because people go, I don't want to give my information. I do a newsletter like twice a year. I'm super lazy and
you don't
behind on it.
sell the info.
No, we don't sell the info,
See?
and
Good
you
man.
can
He doesn't
and you
sell
can
his
bail.
info.
You can bail, and you're not going to hurt my feelings. You have to give me a legit email address, and then you can say I don't want any notices or whatever, and we don't
Right.
care. We're not
Yeah,
going to
you're opt
spam
out.
you.
Well,
I'm like that mellowest salesperson on the planet. Everybody,
I'm gonna read this
Do it.
week if you
Yeah.
gave me this book.
Yeah, that's
and
yours.
I'm gonna come back next Tuesday and I'm gonna give you a total like review and tell you guys
there's still
why you
typos
need
in
to
it. I
buy
got
it.
lazy on it, but yeah.
So we don't know yet because I don't have my paperwork with me because I'm behind the scenes and not on the other. I'm not behind the scenes. I'm here. No, I need my book that's downstairs. Okay. So we have one other thing we need to discuss.
We got to talk about water restrictions.
Yep.
Okay. So, we were talking about building.
Bump, bump.
So, everyone wants to bitch about the traffic and the growth and everything else of the South Shore area. And I saw the new water restrictions that take place tomorrow.
So guys, pay attention and listen up.
And by the way, this one sucks. Okay. Normally I go, I get it.
Right.
But first off, we don't know if it applies. So
Okay, let's start with what are the water
What are the-
restrictions?
yeah,
so the
let's start
water,
there.
yeah. So the water restrictions are: you get to water once a day, once a week, from midnight to 4 a.m. or 8 p.m. to midnight. Okay, so it has to be late at night. You can't water during the day.
Well, honestly, you live in Florida. You should never water
I would
during
say
the day.
you're-
You're
you're-
No, but
you're burning
but
your
you really.
grass.
So the problem is, but you really want to water at like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Oh, I was told 4 a.m.
So, well, the problem is like mine runs for 2 hours with
Yeah,
my
so
4
to
zones.
6
So 4 to 6, right?
before the
but-
sun
Well,
comes
now
up.
you got to do 2 to
Collectively-
4.
collectively you're watering less than an hour because you're only watering a zone.
I'm only
at a
watering
time.
30 minutes a zone, right?
right,
So,
right.
but it's still over a 4-hour period or a 2-hour period. You have to be done by 4 a.m. Okay. Now,
don't they have timers? Don't you just set it?
yeah.
Set
So
it,
that's
forget
okay,
it.
but it was before 8. So now all these people have to set them. And by the way, there's
Is someone gonna drive around and give tickets out?
Oh
for this?
shit, yeah, they do. And
don't you live in an HOA?
Oh,
please.
yeah,
They're so on
the
our
Karens. Oh, by the way, there's a $250
it's no longer
reward.
Karen, by the way, it's Jessica.
Oh yeah, it's Jessica.
It's Jessica, not Karen.
Sorry,
They call them a
Jessica, my
Karen.
friend. You're
Sorry, yeah,
you're
any
the
Jess I
new
know.
you're the new Karen.
All right. So anybody who knows
so by
how
the
to
way,
set these things on your
so by the way, you have
thing,
to
might wanna
change
come
them.
by my
But
house.
and then
Yeah.
and then it used to be you get a warning. No warnings anymore.
How long is this happening for?
Till the end of July. So there's no warnings.
And what does this
If
stem
you
from?
narc on your neighbor, you get a $250 credit on your water bill.
What?
Oh, watch out, neighbors! I need the money.
Okay.
Wait a
and
second.
and
Kidding,
it used to
I'm
be
kidding.
if you used
You think
reclaimed
I'm awake at
water
4 o'clock
like
in the
a
morning,
well.
whether you're watering or
So it
not,
used
I'm
to be if you used like reclaimed water out of a well or whatever. That didn't apply. Now the problem is according to the news articles that you have to water from a well within the same amount
Are
of
we
time.
running out of water? Is that why?
Yeah, because they built all these houses with no plan.
But we're on reclaimed water. Why does that have anything to do with this?
Well, so the problem is 2 news articles and the
state is
press
surrounded by
release.
water.
Right.
So the problem is the press release and everything say reclaimed water
is exempt.
is not exempt, but the website says it's exempt. So what happens tomorrow, we don't know.
Well, wait a second.
But it's
We
more
never- hold on.
complicated. You
Yeah.
can't wash your driveway and you can't wash your cars unless it's on the day of your watering
Okay, wait a
before
second.
8 a.m.
There's a line in a song that says, "I don't trust the media to tell me the truth."
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going to
But-
go to the website for the water company, and that's who I'm going to believe.
Okay, but we support local entrepreneurs and hustlers. So what happens to car detailing people?
They
or
can't.
pressure
They
washing
can
people?
only wash. Like at my house, they can only wash my car on Tuesday.
they're gonna
So
have
you're
to
screwed on car
physically-
show. You know these people are booked on Fridays
So
for
what
car
about
shows.
pressure washing companies?
Oh, they're fucked. Pardon me.
They're screwed.
They're screwed. They can
That's
only do it on there,
horrible.
and it's absolutely tragic. That's my rub, and
Did
and
they
it's
even
not
consider
clear.
that?
No, because they're politicians.
But so I asked somebody the other
And I could
actually
be wrong.
yesterday.
I could be wrong, but that was my interpretation based on the press release from Hillsborough County. Now the website doesn't. The current information on the website doesn't match the press release, so
asked a
I don't know
pressure
what
washing guy
to
yesterday
believe.
at a house that I was at, and I said, "How is this going to affect you? Are you no longer going to be able to do your business?" And he said, "No, it's kind of like when." And so I don't know if this is right or wrong because I don't know if he's correct.
So please
But
understand, we're getting this
Right,
information
so
third party.
If
You have
somebody
to find out
out
for
there
yourself.
knows for sure, or if you're in this business, you should look into it so that you don't get fined. Because he said to me, "No, they can't shut my business down." And it's kind of like in COVID that there was essential workers that water
That's
is
true.
required for his business, and so he's allowed to use water because it's his.
But then when
business,
your
right?
yard is destroyed,
what do you do if you gotta
can't
fill
get
your
fined.
pool?
The HOA can't fine you.
Yeah,
but
how does
but,
that
but
work?
you're still going to have to buy new grass come July 1st
How you
at
gonna- how you
$9
gonna fill your
grand for a
pool?
yard.
Yeah, and then what about you? Exactly. What about the pool? And
No
what about
restriction.
community?
No. It says absolutely nothing about the pool. I can
So
freaking
you
fill
can
my
fill
pool
your
up.
pool.
You can live the Florida lifestyle. Well, then just put
If I was
hose
in
your
water,
pool.
if I was in water set, I'd be grabbing I'd have a trash pump going into one of these ponds in the back neighborhood and spraying
Speaking
my
of trash,
yard.
are we going to talk about your new purchase?
Oh yeah, Teo, you purchased something this
I
week.
did. I
so
did.
I personally, so I heard about this when I got here, and I have to tell you,
And I was hiding it. So we were hiding it.
I have to tell you, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the group, so I'm trying to let everybody else out there maybe get behind me in my feelings on this. And
But
in all fairness, I didn't want to argue with Teo before the show and put him in a bad mood.
and I just sold a property. That's all.
And I get it. You just wanted to make a sale.
So,
I get it.
So, I look at it this way.
So,
all these
Teo,
people have
tell us-
bitching. All
tell
these
us
people.
what you're going under contract for.
So
Yes.
I bought a chunk of land on 41 and Paseo El Mar, there by the entrance of Waterset, across from the yard, and
In front of the tracks.
Right in front
That
of the river.
yeah, right,
long
yeah,
stretch.
the
Yeah,
long
this is the
stretch,
wrong
right
place.
there, right by the water tower, right.
Yeah.
And
iconic of Apollo Beach.
you know, and
Super iconic.
it stops at the water tower, but I might cover the water tower with
Oh,
like
by
a
the way,
manatees
disclaimer
or
again,
something.
if you don't like this, you don't have to listen. You can walk away.
Yeah.
And we do not.
So I thought it was all these people complain about the growth, right? So I thought that I would buy a chunk of land and stop the growth.
And how exactly are you going to stop the growth?
Well, I have a 50-year-old Mercedes and a couple of old trucks and cars, and I
thought it was brilliant.
I have no place to store extra parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up an auto and boat salvage yard, and we're going to put all kinds of old automobiles, classics, like my
Classics.
old
We're
Mercedes
not-
and stuff like that.
We're not talking old. We're talking classics. These are
On
classics.
And
the corner of Apollo Beach Boulevard and 41.
correct.
Absolutely.
And then
It was only 2 point.
The
at
most
one point-
iconic
it was
corner
$1.2
in our
million.
country.
It wasn't a lot.
and we're going to put all these old classic cars, to
gonna
be
look
recycled.
beautiful.
It'll be a
It'll be
junkyard.
But it'll be a pretty junkyard because
but-
it's Apollo Beach.
And the
Airstreams,
cool thing,
too. We have a
and
couple of
and we're
Airstreams.
going to have all
A
these
junkyard
things.
means that like fluid and oils and things like this seep out of stuff.
Exactly.
And-
So the cool part about that is then the
You seem
land will
okay
be
with that.
But
the
there's a
land will be contaminated, and it'll be hard for them to build
Does
other
anybody see my
properties.
face?
I mean, but look at it this way. There
I'm
won't be
stopping
any-
building.
We're not gonna
All
have
these people want me to
apartments.
stop building. I think it's a great way to
Trying-
stop
I
building.
just want
I totally was in. He got me.
Yeah, I got it.
totally
You
thought
wanted to
about it.
sell a property. I got it.
Yeah,
I
but
got
you-
it.
it's
Commission
more than
based.
that.
Got it.
No, but think about
I'm
it this way.
community
No
based here.
rentals.
Do I have anybody
I
out
live here.
Hold
It's
on.
good.
Do I have anybody out here listening that is on my side on this one? Because I'm just
How
gonna
many
say-
people
Hold on.
have old cars
Or-
they want to get replacement parts for and stuff like that?
Well, think about it.
And
You
how many
can't-
people want the oil and gas and whatever running into our
You
gutter
won't even
system?
notice
But you
it.
won't
It's going to
notice
seep
it.
into the ground.
You know what the thing is too?
It'll
how
be like
many
that
of you
gas
guys
station on
have, like,
41
an
just
old
over there by
car?
Shell Point,
Do you
Shell Point,
know
where no
the
one can build
amount
there.
of environmental fines you're going to get?
No, we'll take
No,
that.
because I got kitty
So
litter.
You might want to get it out of her commission check. I'm just saying.
Hey,
because-
keep my commission out of this. The
Because
girls
that'll
got
be
to
gone
make some
quick.
money.
I'm just saying. I'm looking out for our South Shore area. And I
So am
just-
I. I'm stopping
We're
building.
going to stop the apartment
with the
complexes.
ugliest water. The
No,
ugliest,
it's gonna have classic
It's
rusted
gonna
out
have
cars.
good-
Are you gonna put a
beautiful cars.
Are you gonna put a privacy fence around this, so nobody can see it?
Oh hell no!
No, why
so
would we do that?
okay,
I would need
so
to advertise.
Is anybody listening? Do we have anybody who is against this with me? This is
No,
like,
they like it because here's at the end of the day,
I
we
got
can
it. You
get
got
rid
a
of these
commission
cheap-ass
check. I got it.
apartments.
Do you
I
want?
got-
Do you
No,
want
it's
some
about
more
not having
Section 8?
apartments.
Do you want some more 4-story
No,
Section
no
8
4
apartments
stories.
there? No,
I don't
we're
know
gonna
about
have
Section
we're
8.
gonna
I
have
stay out
cool
of that
cars.
because I am not about the Section 8.
Yeah.
You could. Here's the deal. You can have Section 8 apartments anywhere you want to. I
Sure.
don't care. All I know is that we can have these beautiful classic cars
People,
in
help
front of
me.
Waterset.
help me.
And if you have think about
They're
it,
not beautiful and classic when they're pieces of junk in the
But
storage
think
unit.
about it. When you have a boat and you can't park it in Waterset, you could take it to the salvage yard
Yeah.
and park it there and rent the space. It'll be
If
great.
it's going to a salvage yard, it's not a usable
But it's-
boat.
No,
it'll
but I'll
be
rent
rusted
spaces.
out
I'll,
pieces of
I'll be
crap,
ru-
but we're
I'll,
gonna
I'll
rent
rent out
spaces.
spaces.
So we have another storage unit.
It's true. Howard just said it. It's part of a Florida history. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's stay behind.
It's
the
all
computer.
old stuff. I don't want new. I don't want
We don't
new
want new
fancy
stuff.
boats. I want
We want the
old
older stuff.
classics.
Want people to remember what Apollo Beach started out as.
What it used to be, like
that's
when you go to the
becoming
Anchor
rusty and
Bar, when you
nasty
go to
and-
Anchor Bar and have a
Okay,
grouper
somebody out there
sandwich and
has to
smoke a
help me.
cigar.
No, they
So-
like this idea.
Why don't you just open a lounge and let people sit on the corner and smoke cigars?
Well, we'll
I'd be
probably-
all
Well,
right with
because
that.
we do that at Cigars on the Boulevard,
But-
and we'll sit outside. I'm going to have
could
this. I'm,
sit
I'm,
in a
I'm trying
car
to
and
find
smoke a cigar.
right now. I'm talking to the dude in Gibsonton to get me.
Oh,
like,
that's what we want.
Well,
We
I want
wanna
one of
bring-
those. I want one of those
Oh my
metal
God.
buildings that
Oh my
is
God,
like the
can you
old
people
tin
help?
with the rusting. I want it to look like 1950s Florida.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, did you see my logo?
Are you going to put tomato in front of it too?
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Are
I'll
you going to
post
put
it.
rusty tomato in front of it too?
yeah. Did you see? Did you see my? Did you see my thing? See,
Yeah.
isn't that perfect? That's perfect.
Okay, so
That's exactly
okay.
what we're looking at.
Okay.
it's gonna
All right.
look amazing.
If anybody is watching this show, I need you to call me.
You have to call Angie.
because we need to stop this. And Teo, I love you. I'm all for being an entrepreneur, and I love you for selling something that's amazing.
It's
I'm
gonna
glad
be
you got your
beautiful.
commission.
We could
But
sit on top of the
I-
boats and smoke cigars and listen to the bands at the Salty Shamrock. I
Exactly.
think this is great.
Yep.
Plus, it's going to provide a barrier between the houses and the Shamrock, so the Shamrock can play the music as much as they want, and the people won't complain.
Right.
And it's great future. What'd you say, Howard? And
Oh,
you can
it's
fix
great
your
future
Toyota.
equity for our town.
It totally is.
Oh yeah,
It
You-
is.
Okay,
'Cause
we
imagine
obviously
not
have two
hearing
different
this.
thoughts.
And this is me. This will
all-
be right up on top. We're
You know
gonna
what
put
it
that
is?
right on the top of the
Are
Mercedes.
you at
All
least
in
how
okay,
you
so
look at it?
My dad was a mechanic, and I'm
so
just
is my uncle.
right. So I mean, I've been to junkyards in the past in my life, and nice ones too, because he built old hot rods. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm just gonna go with the environmental part because we're surrounded by water. So are you gonna like drain the lines and take out the gas tanks before you allow them onto your spot so that they're not going to drip those drippings into our drainage system for our manatees right here? At the
Since I'm
Tico
on air,
plant?
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because we have to, we will.
Oh, you're in on this.
Yeah, Howard and I are totally.
Can somebody
They
help
think
save
it's
our
a great
town?
idea. They think
Can
it's great.
I think it's
somebody
phenomenal.
be
I
on
thought it
my
was-
side
I
and
was
help save
totally
our
in.
town?
I was totally in. I
This
cashed
is
out.
a $1.2 million idea.
We
And you were worried
cashed
about
out some
investing
of
in
our-
real estate?
It's cash.
We actually cashed out some of our money and we're in with Teo. We're totally in.
What is wrong with you people?
Dude, it's only 1.2 million. It's not
not
like
that
it's a
much
ton of
money.
money.
You were concerned about doing real estate investments.
If I do mortgages, if I have to take a
We
loan,
pay cash.
Listen, if you need to throw
This is
up
cash.
1.2 million away on something that you're going to get fined over and over and over,
Oh, no.
I'm not going to get fined. I got
Yes, you
kitty
are.
litter. They're
I'm
never going to
turn you
find
in.
it. Okay, Karen, Jessica.
I will be here.
Okay, Jessica.
I am standing up for our town.
No,
I
we're
am
fine. Yes, that's the
standing
thing.
up.
We're also going to
Oh,
add some
hey,
solar
but
panels.
here's the other deal.
I'm
Is
putting
I
my
found
water
out.
down on this.
So I found out today about a thing called a beefalo.
People.
You can
Did you
breed.
just call me a new name?
No.
That I have a beef with
No.
your thing and now I'm a beefalo?
No, I saw this on TikTok. You can breed a
People,
bison
help me.
with a cow.
Oh, no way.
And-
Bison are delicious.
Dude,
They're fucking
so
delicious.
first off,
When did the F-bomb be okay on the show?
we got the
I've done well
disclaimer.
not to do it.
Disclaimer.
We did before. So anyway, you can take a bison with a cow and you can breed them. Now, the funny thing
Why
about
are you
that is
distracting from what we're
when
talking
you
about?
because I want to have a grazing area by the area.
You're gonna have
while I'm
buffalo
filling in.
on the side of the road
No,
on 41.
Bison. No, I'm going to breed I want to
Bison
breed
and cow.
a bison with a cow.
So we're
You
gonna
know,
do it on
people
a
have chickens.
commercial-
People have chickens.
You have to
I
do
want
that.
a beefalo.
Okay.
Dude, can you
I mean,
imagine the stakes on this?
Can you
Oh my
listen for 2
God,
seconds?
that'd
And
be
they're fertile, so
delicious.
they can breed.
more
They can
You
breed.
need an architectural zoning for that. You can't do that on a commercial zoning.
Oh, don't worry about that. We know people.
What are you doing, people?
We talked.
Dude, we got
talked
that
to some
Wassel
people.
guy.
We're good.
He'll do anything.
I mean,
Yeah, we
I'm
talked
in
to
real
some
estate,
people.
folks, and you can't even have chickens if you are on commercial
I'm
or residential.
sorry. I'm
It has
sorry.
to
Have
be-
you met some people in Waterset? They have pigs. They have chickens. It just happens. It's in the.
It
it's-
doesn't.
Dude,
it's okay. You're
Tampa
putting it
Bay
right
Cake.
on 41.
Tampa Bay Cake Company had a pig
You're putting
before
it right
she was
on
Tampa Bay
41,
Cake Company.
So what?
in the most iconic corner of our town.
Perfect to remind.
Have you
them
seen
where
out what
we
the water
were.
tower looks like? This is a huge improvement.
Are you going to put your
100%.
buffalo on the top of the water
It's a
tower too,
beefalo.
like the
It's a beefalo.
like the pink gorilla was?
Well, we could do that too.
Yeah,
but
we'll
my
bring back
God.
Ape
Wait
Hollow.
a second, but a beef.
$1.2 million
Yeah.
idea. Taya, I'm just gonna say, if you got $1.2 million to put towards this, I
We
got
did.
some better ideas for you.
No, this,
Julie
I think this is
Prasad,
phenomenal.
help me here.
Can somebody out there not save our town? Because I'm not okay.
On
with
that happy note, we are going to. let
Yeah,
you
we-
know that
we've gone
will
way
be
over.
way over, and Howard's losing his mind behind the thing. Cars and
Yeah.
coffees this week.
Cars and coffee.
Definitely cars and coffee.
Can you
and
remind them of something else?
like a beefalo.
Like what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is actually
Tomorrow's a
tomorrow
networking
starts-
group.
It is, but tomorrow, actually, ladies and gentlemen, a more serious note is the first day of Passover. So
Yep.
a piece and shalom.
We'll have our matzo ball soup with our pork ribs.
Shalom.
I'm obviously going to the doctor to get blood pressure medicine after this conversation. I
And
will be
it's
making
also
an
the
appointment.
beginning- It's also the beginning of Holy Week for Easter.
I'll be the
because
first person holding up the protest
we
sign. I
have,
just want you to know.
Okay.
So we do
I'll have
have
a chair for you.
the final Wednesday of Lent. We also have Monday, Thursday,
you're back
Black
to
Friday.
being
Good
serious.
Friday,
about things,
sorry.
'cause I'm-
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
church on Sunday.
And Friday, it's actually Thursday.
Is it Thursday something?
Thursday
People are
is
knocking on my
Monday.
door.
It's Monday, Thursday, and then we have Good Friday, and then we have Easter Sunday. So I mean,
Yep.
some people have an Easter Saturday.
I'm
and
like
Monday.
ready to flip the table upside down, people. Like, are you
But Christ,
serious?
for Christians, Christ is dying and rising, and Passover is when, if you don't know, if you're not Jewish, it's when they did the blood over top of the doors so that the angel of death would pass over the Jews when they escaped from Egypt, and they did kick ass because the Egyptian prince died. So yes, I'm also half Jewish, so
Pretty much every holiday is we ate, we kick ass.
and that's it.
And we win.
Yeah.
For those who are not Jewish, it was in the Old Testament during the Exodus.
Right.
Blood was given. They were told to put
We're
blood
putting that
over
on the
top
door
of-
over the sign of
door.
Teo Salvage Yard.
So so that the angel of death would pass over them and only kill the firstborn Egyptians, because that's what the prince said.
Hey, with that, we got to go. Everybody, have a wonderful holiday.
Enjoy the holidays.
My
Also-
pen ran out. Save Apollo Beach.
And guys, have
From
a
Teo.
happy April Fool's
works
Day.
out.
Absolutely.
Happy
We love
April Fool's
everybody.
Day, everybody.
We'll see you.
Have a great night.
You got
and
it.
We're out of here.
We'll see you. Bye.
Hey, South Shore community. Join Howard, the unknown drummer, and Captain Teo Leonard for our weekly Tuesday evening fireside chat. Grab a seat by the fire as we feature great local businesses, because we support small businesses. Exciting events and dive into key world issues where your opinion matters most. Want to be a featured guest? Pitch your business or event on the show? Just reach out and connect. The show is proudly produced by Tampa Bay Sports and Entertainment Magazine. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Tune in every Tuesday. We'd love for you to join our fun and connect with us.
Whether to believe me or not.
Trying to end this